You stand on a white beach, the sand beneath your boots, the sun blazing down upon your heads. It is hot. It is humid. And in the distance you watch as the ships that brought you here sail away. They're not staying in this forsaken jungle, the Amedio jungle. It is deadly here. You've been warned. People have asked you why you would want to come here. Expeditions have gone missing. People have died. Those who have come back tell stories of massive shadow cats in the forest, of spiders living beneath the ground that'll snatch a man out of the group without anyone even noticing, about vines that if they touch your skin cause that limb to go numb. This place is deadly, but it also bears great riches, for the hidden Shrine of Tamoachan is just within reach. The map you carry, yellow and faded, the ink seeping, crackling and falling off, flaking, barely held together, rests in Montag's hand. He claims to be a dungeoneer. He claims to know the ins and outs of traps, the dangers that lurk behind every single corner, how to remedy the venom of a poisonous dart, and how to lead you there safely with the help of your guide Matal. Montag, what are you thinking as you watch your ship sail off into the distance, off across the blue horizon?
Monty, as he's standing there on the beach, is feeling the tug of the mule that he brought along with him that's laden down with the hundreds upon hundreds of pounds of gear that he bought for this journey. He's just thinking, oh, this is happening. And you mentioned the faded, like, crumbling map in my hands, and like I just want to say, like, on the trip over here, I've taken the time to, like, as a charlatan, I have the ability to forge documents after only seeing one copy. So I've taken the time to copy the map down and, like, given everyone a copy on this excursion.
Perfect. And each of you possesses a copy of this map now, painstakingly rendered on like very similar but more new, recent documents. Each of you can look at the map if you need. But Monty, as you glance down at the map, you see those 4 stepping stones, those 4 signs that you're following the correct path. The first, a massive stone man holding a spear. The second, a village sitting in the trees. The third, a wall covered in eyes. And the fourth, a clenched fist, a mountain shaped like this clenched fist. That is your destination. And if you move quickly, perhaps you could arrive by night. But one thing is certain, you do not wish to be caught down in the jungle as night. As Gorudondo Katai knows. What is he thinking about? What are his worries? As you can see the sun behind you, it's early in the morning, but you know that your time is limited to travel these jungles safely or within relative safety.
So in contrast to Montague, Strongarm isn't carrying much at all. He has a quiver of giant arrows on his back and a sack that's currently empty slung behind his shoulder. And he's not worried at all. He thinks that everything that they've said about this place, it couldn't be that bad. But he hopes that something lies in wait for him that he can bring back, or at least a good story that he can bring back with him.
And as you stand there, having begun this journey, this adventure that you've all been waiting for. The sounds of the jungle begin to reach a fever pitch once more. Birds chirping and cawing through the upper foliage. The occasional rustle of a branch as small black monkeys swing from them. And that sun, that burning sun above you. It feels almost as if it's baking you alive, Aaron, in your plate armor. It feels as if your suit has been turned into an oven. And sweat begins to bead at your forehead. It begins to gather around the place where the pauldrons meet the collar of your plate. And you feel it beneath your chain gloves streaming along your hand. You are not comfortable. And you still have not begun to move in the direction you need. What do you do?
Yeah, so it's basically just as you described. We've only been off the boat not too long. We can still see it sailing off in the distance, and the sweat is already just pouring. And Aaron just kind of, the discomfort, no matter how great it is, and it is plenty great, and will likely only continue to get worse, it does not show on his face. The discomfort. He maintains a stoic composure that he kind of stands proudly with. And instinctively, not even necessarily looking to see what everyone else is doing, would begin to at least start to move slowly in the direction that he believes that they're about to be heading in.
And Yasni, as Aaron, this big, huge, hulking paladin, turns and starts to move off without the group, what do you do?
Yasni would probably be last. A little gnome, barely 4 feet tall, is wide-eyed, and he's inspecting everything and having to like turn around and catch up to the group like every few minutes. He's just he's in awe of his surroundings. You see him picking at plants and looking at rocks and just he's in another world and he's enjoying it. You wouldn't know that you were in this deadly jungle by looking at his face.
And Matal would look at you with concern. And he'd kind of kneel down next to you. My little friend, were you stung by a fever? One of the fever bugs. I don't know what they call them in your language, but you are smiling.
There's fever bugs here? Can I see one?
I don't know. Did you not see one? Were you stung?
No, I don't know. And he like takes around. He's wild. It almost looks like he was pulled from this jungle. His hair is a mess. He's got like just sticks and dirt all over him. But he's got all of this, like all these tools strapped to every little thing. You wouldn't know that he was a druid or a person of nature by any chance. But the mention of bugs, the mention of dirt, he's like staring into Vital's face, just like wanting more information. Like where would it be? Where would I find one?
And Vital kind of like looks at you, like with this concerned look on his face, like he doesn't understand the kind of situation he's in. And you kind of like look up at you, Monty. Keep an eye on this one. Do not let him stray from the path if we see something interesting out in the jungle. And he kind of stands back to his feet. This youthful Ullman from this area, he agreed to at least guide you to the Tonalkets, the tribe that exists in this part of the Amedio jungle. And he's very young, Matal. He's got a youthful smile as well. He's smiling a bit as he takes in the humid air. Mr. Hand of Tear, you should not walk first. You do not know the jungle like we do. And he kind of starts running after you.
And Aaron would turn around and just look at this person, say, "Well, what are you waiting for then?"
I understand you are strong. I have heard of your reputation before, but you must be careful in the forest. In the woods, you never know what can be in there. Let us lead the way.
What's in there? Come on. And you see he's like shrugging
Hope.
behind, trying to keep up.
Hope you do not find out, little one.
Yes, this jungle is full of many great and perilous dangers that I've seen with mine own eyes, and I want to scan the tree line just to see if there's like any sort of shadows or anything like that catch my eye.
As you look into the jungle, the stark contrast between this open beach and the deep jungle is disturbing. The foliage above grows so closely together that only patches of light shine through, like little beacons, where you can actually see clearly the path. And as you stare into the darkness, roll me a perception check.
Well, I rolled an 11, but my passive is 16.
Oh, your passive is 16? Okay. I'll just take your passive then, because I don't think you'd be actively searching. I think you're just kind of like looking, right? Something huge. Something at least twice the size of a man moves between the trees. You've heard stories of these creatures. You call them shadow panthers, but the men and women who live here call them the Ocelotilitik, or a shadow jaguar. These creatures are massive. They've been known to rip a man in half with their claws. And as you watch, it slinks away into the shadows and disappears.
Hold fast, fellows. There's a shadow panther in those woods.
There are lots of things in there. If we stick together, we'll be fine. Let's move now. Come on, Matal.
But wait, can we go see it? Where's it at? I didn't get to see it.
I almost imagine you start steering yourself off into the jungle, and you'd feel a firm hand on the top of your head that turns you back onto the path as Matal aims you to follow the rest of the group. And he moves up to stand alongside you, Kutari. And he would kind of just briefly kind of like explain what to watch for. I mean, I'm sure in the northern lands they have their own threats, but here, this jungle is filled with a whole different list of beasties and monsters entirely. And as he kind of explains this to you, he starts to lead you into the jungle. I'm going to need everybody to make me either a survival or a perception check.
Five dough.
That 5 dough. Okay. But
Still
because of
wondering.
Jeff's nat 20, I'm going to let you narrate how you stop Yasni from walking straight into a cluster of strangle vines.
Yeah, as I imagine that Yasni probably like sees just like this cluster of these strange twisting vines, and is almost just like probably just like, "Whoa, what are those? I want to go see those." And like, right as he goes to like walk towards them and like probably reach out towards the these vines, you would just see Aaron's sword just stick into the ground as he just swipes it like inches from Yasni's face. You could feel the wind of the rushing blade go past him as it just plunges into the dirt. And right as this Yasni would stop kind of face to face with the flat edge of Aaron's sword, you would just point up to these vines and just say, "Not so eager, little one."
He kind of stares at them and maybe watches them move a little bit. And yeah, you're right. He's just in awe of like staring at him. And he mumbles under his breath and reaches out a little bit. And you see a little vine come up from his hand and play with the vine in front of him. And then just kind of like sighs.
Yeah, as you look up, though, and as you kind of like just touch this one vine, it starts to writhe. And it's almost like it's reaching for you. And you see, as you look up, in the vines above you, hanging, suspended above the ground, a corpse, a skeletal body. A vine wrapped around his throat, one around each arm and another around his waist. This man, or person or individual, whoever they were, died fighting for life, and they were strangled for it. They made the mistake that Yasni almost made. His clothing indicates that he was probably some sort of an explorer as well. A rusty short sword hangs half exposed from its scabbard at his waist, and his clothing seems to entail that he's from the region of Greyhawk. Some sort of soldier or fighter, or maybe mercenary or hired muscle for an expedition.
But as Yosni's watching this, can he see anything else on this body that's hanging there?
What specifically are you searching for?
Anything really?
Anything useful, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me investigation.
Still just as bad. Actually, no, it's not. 9.
9. I mean, besides the rusted short sword, I mean, he's wearing a pack on his back, but you couldn't tell what's in it. I mean, there's different shapes and bulges in the pack, but not enough to risk your neck for. There's a small pouch of maybe gold hanging off of his waist, and probably the money that was given to him for his hiring. But nothing really stands out to you that this guy might be wearing or having.
Is he reachable by anybody? I'm assuming not me, but
Yeah, can I reach up there and get him?
If you were to climb the tree a small distance, you could probably try and pull him down, but he's in the center of this cluster of vines. If you were to reach in, you would risk the vine touching one of the vines and having it grab you.
All right. So then, if he was beyond reach and it looked like somebody would be reaching for it, Yosni would actually cast a spell in order to get this guy down. He would mumble a little bit under his breath, and as long as it affects living beings, I would cast Speak with Plants, and I would they would be able to do what I say within 30 feet of me, and essentially bring him toward us in some way, shape, or form.
So do they make him do what you say, or can you just talk with them?
It says any plant within 30 feet is imbued with limited sentience and animation, giving you the ability to communicate and follow simple commands.
Okay. What do you tell it?
In simple gnome terms, he would just be like, "Can I see that? Can I see that little one?"
And the plant whispers back, "Come closer."
That is not such a good idea, I was told. And he probably still sees the sword like half in front of him, still keeping him back.
And you're like, I don't think that's a very good idea. You hear, "If you wish to see, come closer."
Okay, take like a millimeter step. There you go. I fulfilled your wish.
Close.
This cluster of vines, is it centered on the ground, or is it mostly centered on this tree?
It's mostly kind of like, so up there. There's probably some sort of a branch much higher up in the tree that kind of has these vines dangling down off of it. So I mean, you would think that it's probably close. I mean, I don't know. You would think that it's hanging off of one of the branches above you.
Can I look up and see how high up?
Yeah, go ahead. So you look up and it's probably like maybe 30, maybe 40 feet off the ground.
Hmm. Well, that beats my idea of burning down this forest.
Oh, and are you saying that out loud at all?
What? No. Huh?
Burning down the forest.
What?
If you had said that, I would be like still communicating with the plant and be like, "You are being threatened to be burned down."
So you say you are being threatened to be burned down, and the plant hesitates at this. Roll me persuasion. Go ahead and give me a persuasion, probably DC 10.
Oh yeah, I was gonna burn down this forest super good.
So what'd you get? What'd you get on the persuasion check?
You asking me?
Mm-hmm. You're the one talking to the plant.
Gotcha. Okay. I was thinking that the plant might be able to understand. 13.
Oh yeah. It just kind of is like, oh okay, and then it just lowers the guy down to you. It's like, yeah, I don't want to be burned down.
Thank you, little one.
And as you step a little bit closer to start like investigating the body, one of them snaps at you, and then just stops as it realizes it can't reach you.
Yeah, I'm a little smart, not going that close.
Yeah.
But I would gesture to one of the big people near me to look at the body or pick it up or move it, because I'm pretty sure I can't.
Aaron would
So
do
who's
no such
inspecting the
thing.
body? Go ahead and give me investigation.
Aaron would just pull his sword out of the mud and just look at the gnome and just say, "Need to be careful. You're going to get yourself or us killed. Spending so much time to look at a corpse." He would just sheath his sword and turn away and wait for somebody else to do anything.
I'll take a look at the body. Ooh, that was 13 for investigation.
Okay. I mean, you find what you would expect on like an explorer or a mercenary of some sort. And as you kind of start digging through his pack, this appears to have been a rather well-funded expedition. Inside of the pack, inside of the purse at his waist, there is 60 gold pieces, which is pretty good. You would assume this is he'd probably get paid an extra 60 at the end of the expedition. So that's very good earnings for a mercenary. But additionally, as you kind of start going through his pack, the pack itself, you find 2 minor health potions, which heal for 2d4 plus 2. And you find a vial of anti-poison, which is probably used for some sort of animal or maybe some sort of a poison in this jungle. And a letter as well. There's a small letter in the pack.
What does the letter say? As I add the bottle of antitoxin to my other bottle of antitoxin on my belt.
Okay. So you pull open the letter and start to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. It says, "Dearest Kali, I find myself heading to an unknown land, in an unknown jungle, searching for some sort of a treasure that these men tell me is here. I hope to return home soon. I have not seen your face in such a long time, my daughter. If the winds are kind, if the fortunes are good, I will find myself back with you shortly. As for now, Do not forget that while I am gone, my brother is in charge. And I promise I will be home to you soon. These people promise me good pay if we find the treasure, and perhaps it'll mean that I will not have to go on these expeditions anymore. With greatest love, Tirna.
No PS or anything?
No, no sort of a PS or anything. I mean, he fully expected to be able to send this back with a ship or something.
Crumple, throw into forest. All right, let's go.
So Kutari goes and picks up the piece of paper and puts it into his pocket and looks at him with kind of like this look of like, really? Like, you're just gonna litter like that here?
What? It's not like we're gonna find his daughter anywhere. What?
He doesn't say a word, just towering there with a stoic face. He pulls out his 2 long arrows and begins to pace forward, kind of looks at Aaron, and then looks off in the direction they're going as they start to walk forward.
Okay. As you guys continue on into the jungle, having passed this first danger, eventually you arrive at an open clearing. The trees seem to have been cleared out of this spot. You see some stumps here and there. And as you continue walking, the foliage overhead doesn't get any lighter, though. It doesn't get any less condensed. But you see what appears to be a massive tree of gray wood, kind of in the shadows, with another one right next to it. And then right in between the two of them, another one. It's strange. You've never seen trees like this before, and as you approach, you realize that they are the feet of some massive thing, and you look up, and it's the statue. You've arrived at the first point on your map.
Can we tell who the statue is of, maybe? Or what kind of statue it would look like?
Go ahead and roll me a stone masonry check, Yasni. And the rest of you can go ahead and roll me history.
Uh, 24.
24. Okay. Yeah, you know that this massive statue was made by the Ullmen who live here. The tribes that live here are known for their brilliant ability to carve stone, and this appears to be some sort of a chief. He wears that typical kind of feathered headdress that is carved immaculately, and his spear bears the typical honors that you would see on a chief's spear. But it is very old and cracking and crumbling. One of the knees looks like it could give out at any moment. Does anyone approach the statue?
May, of course.
Okay.
Maybe even to look at it and then, find out what's up with the cracking and stuff.
I'm going to move away, and I'm going to look into the forest or the jungle for danger while this is happening.
Okay.
I would be doing the same.
You guys all turn and look away from him and look into the jungle. What is Aaron doing?
Aaron is watching Yasnik carefully, kind of not wanting to, but he's kind of been forced into the role of the protector for him at this point. So as Yasni approaches this cracking and crumbling statue, Aaron would just be keeping an eye on him. In the event that anything happens to him while the others are looking in other directions, he would try to be ready to do something if he had to.
Yeah, so you're watching Yasni as he approaches and puts his hand on the statue, kind of starts feeling around, looking at it. And you can just hear him muttering to himself, like, wow, this carving, this stonework, wow. I've never seen anything like this before. Wow.
Wow.
It's Owen Wilson from
Thanks.
from what's it called? Wow. Okay,
That's my voice from now on. Thanks.
yeah. Wow. Okay, and as you stand there looking at this, what's your passive perception?
12.
Okay. Okay. As you stand there looking at this, you only barely notice the slight tremor in the ground. And Aaron, as you're kind of like looking at him, in the blink of an eye, a large boulder sitting next to this massive stone statue flips backwards. I need you to roll me a strength save, Yasni.
17.
Okay. In the blink of an eye, you see something lurch out of this hole that's been revealed from beneath the boulder. Clamp down. Put 3 legs clamp down on the sides of Yasni. And then he's gone. And the boulder flips back down. Roll initiative.
Nice.
I take it we hear this, right? We just don't know what it is where we are.
If your passive perception is any lower than 17, you do not hear it.
Oh, okay. Dope.
Oh, really? 17? Really? Is that from the module, or did you just figure that out? Oh, really? 17?
What 2 party members have a 16 passive perception?
You guys actually both have 16?
I wonder.
Do you guys both have 16 actually? Like,
No,
really?
Yeah. I'm cool with 17, but I demand a roll because we're actively searching.
Okay, go ahead. Give me a roll.
To be fair, we were looking in the woods. We weren't looking at the statue.
Give me a roll. Give me a roll, boys. Give me a roll.
All right, well, I got the young 18.
I got an 18 as well.
Yeah, well, it's 19 now. So, yeah, you guys fail.
Okay, cool.
No, just kidding. Okay, yeah, you totally hear as a small yelp escapes from Yasni's mouth before he's pulled underground. What were those initiative rolls? Got 2, 6, 8, and 18. Woo! Lit, baby. Okay. Well, the Trapdoor Spiders go first. I can't remember what your character's name is, dude. It's like Katari or something like that. I'm going with Katari.
It's actually I rolled an 8 on my initiative. The 18 there was my check.
Oh wait, the 14 was Yasni.
Yeah.
Right?
Nah, I had the 2. Or yeah, that's 2.
Nah.
Oh wait, no, the 4. Okay, that was.
I was 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it goes Spiders, Monty, Katari,
Strong arm, yeah.
Aaron, and Yasni. Yasni, suddenly, all around you is darkness and web. 4 arms clasp onto you, holding you, while 4 legs pull backwards, scuttling deeper and deeper into the burrow. The Trapdoor Spider, this massive spider. Oh yeah, easy. Bites down on you. I need you to make me a con save.
Nice. Oh, not bad. 19.
Yeah, that's a pass. Fangs sink into your shoulder and to your upper torso, dealing 7 points of damage to you. And you feel something pour into your body. Your body starts to get cold. It's not going to affect you this round, but it will start affecting you in 3 rounds. Unless you get some anti-venom or some other sort of healing. All around the clearing, other boulders start to move. I'm going to need a strength save from Monty.
$20, not nat, but 20.
Okay, yeah, you totally beat this thing. How do you dodge out of the way or get out of the way as this spider lunges at you, trying to grab you?
I would say that Monty would actually have noticed the boulder of. Well, how are these things moving? Are they scuttling towards us? These boulders, or are they sort of like shifting?
So a trapdoor spider, what it does is it builds like a door to its home that can open and close on a hinge. The boulder is like trembling, and then it flips open, and something lunges out at you.
Okay, yeah, I would say that Monty would notice this and like time it so that once the trapdoor opens, he would actually kick the thing in the face back down its burrow.
Yeah, and as it falls back down the burrow, you see little strings kind of attached to its legs that kind of pull down, and the burrow snaps shut. Okay, another one jumps out and is going to attack Katari. It misses. You're barely able to get out of the way. You kind of look to the side as one of these lunges out of Monty, and you're like, wait, what the heck just happened? And you turn, you see a boulder flip open at you, and you're barely able to get out of the way as it whoosh, and jumps back inside of the hole, zipping back down in. Aaron, you just watch Yasna get pulled in, but one does not attack you. The other boulders are too far away from you that are moving. Monty, it's your turn.
Okay, so how many of these boulders are there?
So there's one on either side of you, so 2. There are like 2 at the base of the statue, and like 3 kind of on the other edge of the clearing. So about 6.
So if I were to move from this spot, they would probably get attacks of opportunity, correct?
No, because technically they're not in the same space as you right now. They are back underneath their boulders.
Okay. So with my mule, I'm going to like back away from the boulders like as far as I can. And I'm actually going to hold my action for when one of them like pops up. So I'm going to knock an arrow and like hold my action for when one of them pops up.
Okay, perfect. Next up then is Kutari.
All right, so strong arm gives like kind of a flip to the javelins in his hands. And can I attempt to throw the javelins and like spear them in such a way that it locks the trapdoors shut?
Oh yeah, I mean that's like the simple like using like a python to seal a trapdoor. Yeah, you totally could.
Cool. So that's what Katari's gonna do. He's just and just try and lock both of those doors shut.
Okay, go ahead and give me just a ranged attack then.
Okay. Both attacks are a 23 to hit.
Okay, perfect. Those will both hit. So go ahead and give me. Actually, since you're not technically trying to destroy the trapdoor, I'm just going to say that you successfully lodge it shut. You just jam it shut with these 2 javelins. So this one, the one to your right, is not going to open.
Dope. So yeah, then I'm going to pull out 2 more, and I'm going to call out for Aaron and say, we need to get out of here. It's infested.
And Aaron would just turn back. There's still one of us down there.
And Matal would be like shaking his head like he knew it was going to be the gnome.
So what does Aaron do?
So the stone that Yasni got pulled under, how wide is that opening? Would Aaron have been able to see? Like,
yeah. So the hole itself is about maybe like 7 feet by 7 feet. Like these are big spiders.
to walk towards the burrow that Yasni was pulled into, his sword and shield up to bear. Kind of plants himself at that tunnel. It's going to pop up from there, and he's going to take a swing at it. Otherwise, he's going to try to get inside and see if he can find Yasni. Like, you
Yeah,
probably
as you
wouldn't
step
even-
up. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
you would just go to or you cut through if possible. It was just pulled through.
Yeah, as you step up to the edge of this hole, nothing happens, and you feel something tug on your boot. And if you were to look down, you'd see this like a small, almost like a gossamer thread. That kind of it's all the way around the edge of this boulder. That as you stepped up to it, your foot kind of brushed it just barely and got stuck on it. But nothing happens as you approach the boulder itself. And if you were to hack and slash it, you could easily cut it. I mean, this thing isn't going to move. It's not going to get out of the way. But it's very, very lightweight. Like, it looks like a boulder because it's just very tightly compact webs all moved together. And then it looks like it's covered in like a fine layer of sand.
Yeah, and Aaron would just begin hacking at it with he'd actually take one of his hand axes off his belt and use that just to try to hack as far into this web as he could to try to get an opening. And if he could get through it all, he would try to peek inside and see if he could see Yasni. Otherwise, he would just hack as much as he could.
Yeah, as you peek down inside of this hole, it's dark. The light reflects off of millions and millions of strands that kind of coat the inside of this tunnel. And you do not see Yasni, but you hear a grunt somewhere down the tunnel. Is Aaron going in, or are you just looking down in right now?
All right, well, if us will die. Grunts and probably the sounds of skittering and various noises coming deep within the tunnel. Aaron would leap down in, keeping his shield up as best as he can. But trying to make his way in that direction.
So for the purposes of being in this tunnel, it is difficult terrain, and the ground sticks to the bottom of your boots. And as you fall down the 10 or so feet to land at the point where the tunnel starts to kind of curve, the light reflects off of your shield and off of your armor, revealing a large form pulling a small, struggling figure deeper and deeper into the tunnel. Yasni, it's your turn.
So what would I see? I'm assuming these spiders are probably 2 or 3 times my size.
Yeah, it's about probably 2 or 3 times your size. I mean, it looks like a tarantula, like hairy, but its eyes are pale, almost as if, well, I mean, I'm going to assume that you probably know at least a fair deal about creatures that live down in the dark.
Mhm.
This spider is probably blind.
Okay. So then, am I being dragged along stone or earth?
You are being dragged along web.
Okay. Is there any stone that I can see or touch anywhere near me or get to?
If you were to tear at the web, maybe you could find something.
Okay. Then I guess that's what I would probably try to do real quick. Is try to either escape this grapple, I'm assuming, or and try to just get to stone. Some kind of stone or earth.
So you can chop at the web around you if you have like a dagger or other similar weapon, or you can pull yourself free and then try and pull the web apart. Which would you prefer to do?
Well, I don't have anything sharp on me besides maybe some tools that are tinkerer's tools. You know, maybe a small knife, but no dagger. I don't think any of my spells would work either. You know what? To be honest, if there's nothing around and I'm being dragged along, I would cast a spell if I couldn't find some type of stone or anything to grab onto, and I would cast Erupting Earth. Yeah, and basically anything within a 20-foot cube, me included, I would center it on myself, just gets detonated, and they all have to make saving throws or take a shit ton of damage.
Okay, interesting. All right, make me a saving throw at advantage because this thing is smothering you basically.
All right, ready?
It is almost practically covering you, so it's going to shield you from damage.
Oh, well, that 2 6s didn't help. So dexterity.
Yeah, I guess you could roll an acrobatics or athletics check,
Okay,
whichever's better for you.
Athletics. So it would be a 7.
A 7. Okay. You fail. It fails. You guys both take full damage. Go ahead and roll me damage.
Okay. So yeah. So anything in a 20-foot cube, 3d12 damage.
Whew.
18.
Dang. Okay. This spider. Okay, what does it look like? Explain this to me.
So I almost imagine like just from since it's supposed to be cast on a ground and it would like erupt the ground. I'm essentially assuming that this would look similar to like a TNT or dynamite package like shoved into a hole. So just you guys would just feel the ground just go boom and explode outward, and maybe even chunks of dirt would eject toward where Aaron is coming into the hole as just the earth around just detonates, dust and cobwebs and rock everywhere.
Yeah, as you just essentially blow up this tunnel, you feel the ground shift, and everyone on the surface, you watch as the ground caves in one section. So the ground caves in on top of you, Yasni, but luckily this spider is basically like hunched over you. So it's going to take the full brunt of that damage, and it is crushed. But you are now essentially buried alive.
Woo!
Out of the frying pan into the fire, as I always say. Okay.
This escalated quickly.
Yeah, so, but this spider is donezo.
All right, so it does have some stuff about that. Each 5-foot portion of the area requires 1 minute to clear by hand if it's caved in.
Can someone give me the suffocation rules real quick?
Oh, it says, yeah, by hand. Yeah.
Oh, you're muted.
I assume you guys have some sort of tools for like excavation, and I mean, like you guys are going like an archaeological dig of sorts. So I assume you guys have something. I'll let you dig that out double with if you use the tools you have. Oh well, Yasni. I mean, I'm pretty sure Yasni doesn't have all the tools.
I know, but he's the archaeologist.
But yeah, you guys watch as this section of earth just poof, just caves inwards. And to your eyes, Aaron, it just looks like that entire section of tunnel just collapsed. You have no idea if Yasni's alive. All right, back to the spiders. So the one can't get out of its hole because it's been sealed shut. Monty, go ahead and use your ready to action as it pops open and lunges back out at you.
Yeah, like I would like ready my bow, and as soon as it popped out, I would like aim straight for those eyes. And let's see, I will make my attack now. Ooh, that is a 26.
That definitely hits. Go ahead and give me damage.
10 damage.
Ouch. Yeah, as this spider kind of lunges back out of this hole at you, just ready to make you into a meal. Your arrow flies true and pierces this thing like right in its thorax, just right between the segments that hold its butt end and its center like part of its body together, and it lets out this like screech like, and it just like sinks back down into the ground just as quick as it can, wriggling. It sounds like Shelob. Okay. Anything else? Oh wait, that was ready to action. Okay. So the spider, I'm gonna have it roll at disadvantage on its attack. It misses completely. The other spiders, the one can't get out, and so the other ones kind of start. You see the boulders stop moving, so you don't know what they're doing or what's happening. Katari.
I can't see Aaron at all then, right?
Yeah, you just see sliced up one of these boulders and a hole, a gaping hole.
Okay. And the spider's back inside of its hole now, right? So I guess I'll just try and seal that one too.
Okay, cool. Just make me your attacks again to seal it shut. DC 12 for the boulders, by the way.
All right. One of them is a 22. The other one is a 14.
Yeah, you seal it shut.
Dope. So slam another couple javelins in there, and then I run towards the hole and kind of look around, confused.
Yeah,
trying to find Aaron and Yasni.
And as you reach the edge of the hole, like blinding light would hit you square in the face, as the light is still kind of reflecting off of Aaron's armor.
Mm.
So you know he's down in the tunnel beneath you.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would just look for an entrance and try and get in there. That would be my response.
Oh, there are other boulders if you want to get in there.
I would stand and wait.
Next to the hole that Aaron's in?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Aaron, it's your turn.
So how far down am I in this pit? Like, is it something I could just walk out of, or would I have to climb? I can't hear you.
Goodness. Okay, you could easily climb up out of this thing if you wanted to. I mean, it's not like it's kind of like a shallow incline, and then it gets steep at the very end. So you could like walk up the ridge and then like climb out.
Yeah. So Aaron will kind of climb up the little bit of a slope and kind of leaping up to grab the ledge, try to pull himself up back onto ground level. Not shout, but just kind of loud enough that everybody could hear it. Just, Yasni's buried in the collapse. We'll need to get him out, but we need to make sure it's safe first. And he would pull out his sword again, and look to whatever the nearest unsealed boulder was to him, and kind of approaching in that direction would ready an attack. So if something jumps out at him, he's ready to take it down.
Okay. So these spiders all ready to tax too, because nothing was happening. The moment your foot lands within 5 feet of this boulder, it just and falls backwards, and a spider just comes out at you. And go ahead and make me your attack, and it'll make its attack after you.
Alrighty. Oh, dang. All right. So that's a 23 and a 22, which I'm guessing both hit. And that is going to be for 21 damage total.
Oh, wait, I forgot to factor in the spider's plate armor. Give me 1 second. These are ancient spiders. They wear stone plate armor. Okay, so how much damage you do?
Still just 21 total.
Oh, dude, you smash this thing. How do you kill it?
Yeah.
What does it look like as you just utterly annihilate the spider?
So it goes to leap out and attack. And right as its like pincher's claws go to bite at him, he just shoves the shield in its face, kind of smashing it, the impact stunning it for a moment. before just one sweeping slash comes up, just cutting out its front legs, so its head kind of drops down. And he just flips his sword up in his backwards in his hand and just shoves it right through the top of this thing's skull, just pincering its head into the dirt ground.
Yeah, and it's multiple leg seizure for a couple seconds before it stops twitching and just falls still. Kind of half in the pit, half out of the pit. So you're gonna have to pull it free if you want to use its hold to get in. Okay, Yasni. You are surrounded on all sides, except for above you, by dirt and rock. Above you looms the remains of this giant spider. You're in a little air bubble beneath this thing.
Is it dead?
It's dead. Oh, it's dead.
Okay. How much room do I have? I mean, can I move my hands or anything?
Yeah, you can move your hands around. Think of it kind of like a small coffin.
Okay.
That's how much space you have.
Being a gnome and stonework and stuff, would I, from this explosion, know which way I came from?
You know what? I'll say yeah. I'll say you know which way is up.
Okay. Then I'm just going to spend this round then using the cantrip Move Earth to just start carving myself a little hole back the way I came.
And carve you do.
Cool. It's 5 feet at a time.
Think of it as a child's coffin, Yasni. Just think of it.
Well, yeah, like a miniature treasure chest for everybody else.
Yeah, I don't think they want to dig up that treasure if you're down there long enough. You start moving the earth out of the way, kind of like it's like loose soil mixed with rock. So it's almost like you're compressing it into itself and making like a tight little hole, almost like you're digging a well in the reverse direction to just get free.
Burying the spider again. That's behind.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta make sure that it knows that it lost to you. Okay, yeah, you start digging your way up. You're probably if you give yourself like 3 more turns, you'll probably get out. Okay. Next up then is Monty. No, wait. The spiders. As you killed this spider, Aaron, and it gave that shriek and its body twitched and convulsed on the ground. Why are you saying no? What are you scared of? What am I gonna...
think I know what's coming, and oh man.
You see its abdomen shift one more time and break. And a swarm of baby spiders pours out of this thing. Swarming on top of you, Aaron.
Oh, that just gave me the chills. That's not even funny.
As you feel them crawl underneath your plate armor in every inch along your skin.
Okay, here we go. There it is. Okay, so this is a swarm. And it's like a bunch of maybe like fist-sized little spiders just all over you. And they're going to make 1 bite attack on you. And what's your AC again?
I have my shield out, so it's 19.
Okay, 19. So they swarm over you, and they manage to actually bite you. You take 10 points of damage as little small fangs just sink into your palm of your hands and the little cracks in your armor where they manage to crawl inside of the grooves around your neck. Small bites up and down your leg. You just feel them just sinking their teeth into you over and over and over again. Okay. The other spiders don't do anything because they're still down inside of the burrow. Monty.
Monty sees this, and like you can just look at his face and tell that he's internally screaming. So he's internally screaming as he's stuffing a scrap of cloth into an oil flask, and he's hoping to God, he's hoping to whoever's listening that webs are flammable and all these tunnels are connected, and he's going to fling open one of the trapdoors that hasn't been pinned shut yet, and fling this flaming Molotov into the tunnel.
Okay. As you step up to this tunnel, another one of these spiders is going to jump out at you, but I'm going to let you throw the flask first and give it a face full of Molotov. So go ahead and give me that ranged spell attack. Ranged attack.
My ranged spell of burn it all.
Burn it all.
18.
Oh yeah, you give this thing a lick of fire right in the face. And, I mean, bits of glass in this thing's eyes shattering across his face. You see green blood dripping out of it, little green viscera dripping out of its face. And it lights up, and the smell is horrendous. It's burning hair. It's burning chitin. It's burning everything. And go ahead and give me that damage for how you light it up.
What damage would I be rolling for that?
So what did you have an alchemist vial that you threw at it?
No, it's an oil flask that I just turned in.
You turned it into a Molotov. Okay.
Yes.
Goodness. Go ahead and do, because oil burns a lot more heavily than an alchemist vial would. Give me like 2d6.
It's 8.
8. And this thing's on fire as well. Okay, so 8. This thing lights up. And the webs around it light up too. They seem to have been coated in some sort of like a slimy-ish material that they can move across easily. And you see that this hole in the ground becomes almost like a portal to hell as it just explodes with flame.
It wasn't already?
Well, it was, but I mean now it's like a literal portal to hell. It's burning everything. Okay, yeah, this thing, it lets out one of those terrifying shrieks again and just dives back into the hole, which is a terrible choice. But it goes back down anyways because it's a spider and its intelligence is like crappy. Okay, Katari.
Can you stunning strike a swarm? Got it. In that case, I run over to Aaron and with a flurry of blows start smashing spiders. Good.
Okay, go ahead and give me. I'm gonna give him a higher AC to make sure, just because I mean, like you're smashing them on him, so you don't hurt Aaron. But go ahead and give me those attacks.
Sure. Say 19, 10, and 2 15s.
Okay. Okay. Wait, did you say a 10?
Yeah, 19, a 10, and 2 15s.
Okay, so the 10 does not hit, but it doesn't hurt Jeff. Anything lower than a 10 will hurt Jeff. And the so the 18 and the 2 15s hit. Go ahead and give me damage.
Dope. So it's 15 damage to this swarm of spiders.
Yeah, you're just like, I almost imagine you got this squeamish look on your face. You're doing like, ah! As you're just like smacking all these things
like
off.
Trying to hit each one at max range, so I'm still as far away as possible.
Yeah, you're able to kill or clear off at least maybe half of these things from him. They're like these small black and red hairy tarantulas. Still a little bit slimy from coming out of their mother. Okay.
I still like how you say small and fist size. Like that's small. Like that's,
well, you're small.
No, I know. This small spider comes at you. It's like the size of a basketball.
Oh, what's going on, guys? So small. What? Small.
Hey, you watch yourself. You're next, Monty. Okay. Aaron. Yeah, he's just smacking the spiders off of you, and you can feel them still moving inside of your armor, just their little hairy legs crawling across your body.
Aaron just looks at Katari and just glares at him as he basically essentially punches him, just not hard enough for it to hurt. And then suddenly Katari would just see the glint and the glare that's coming off of Aaron's armor from the sun get brighter, as if a direct flash of sunlight had hit him. And then in a moment, the glare becomes so bright that his armor is almost encompassed in light. And then as this light fades away, Katari would not see Aaron there as the spiders fall to the ground in midair. And then he would just hear Aaron's voice behind him again as he misty steps away.
All right, cool, man. I dig it. Yeah, although whatever spiders were left inside of your armor or left on your body just kind of like hang there suspended in the air for a second. And they all kind of scuttle off in different directions. They don't want any part of this anymore. And you have an action still because I believe Misty Step is a bonus action.
Yeah, so as the small spiders kind of just start spreading, clearly not a threat anymore. At least I'm guessing that seems to be the case. Aaron would scan. Are there any holes left either pinned or unguarded?
Yeah, there are like 3 more of these boulders. One of them is burning now. One of them is kind of like, so one of them is burning. One of them has the body like hanging out of it, and the other one's kind of collapsed, and 2 of them are pinned shut. So there's like 3 other ones you could go to.
Yeah, Aaron would just begin walking over towards the nearest one, and again, just readying to strike. If something jumps out, he's immediately going to be ready to attack.
And again, something does jump out. But this time it's not attacking you, but you can go ahead and make an attack on it. The spider is flaming.
Interesting. So that is going to be a 24 to hit.
Yeah, you hit both times.
And man, my damage dice are liking me today. 12 plus 10, so 22 damage.
Yeah, you kill this one too, and you see its abdomen is like wriggling, but all the little spiders on it are burning also. So yeah, you finish this one off, and it just kind of collapses in a burning heap on the jungle floor at your feet. And if that's it, then on to Yosni. Yosni.
I guess still continuing to dig my way out.
I'm not sure if you want to do that as the abdomen above you splits and baby spiders fall over your body.
God.
Oh no! It's all over.
He's buried alive,
You're a
and
jerk.
he's in a child's coffin full of baby spiders.
Spiders.
You're a jerk.
What is
All right.
this?
Oh shit. I don't have anything else, really.
Then there were 3.
All right, hold on. Maybe. Maybe.
Dude, be creative. I reward being creative. So be as creative as you want to be.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going with. I'm gonna use the spell Earth Tremor, which just basically all the ground around me in a 10-foot radius tremors, and then creatures have to make a dex save or take bludgeoning damage. But I imagine myself casting that and literally doing the roll on the ground, put yourself out on fire, kind of spin in circle.
Yeah, the area around you becomes like a massage chair as you start rolling around with these spiders on you, and they fail their dex save. So go ahead and give me damage.
Nice. 4.
4. Okay, so the spiders, you're able to roll around and kind of crush some of them, and bits and pieces of rubble kind of like they move a bit. It shifts a bit as they fall on top of you. But the spiders, these little kind of spiders, they actually start to pool beneath you to hide from the falling rocks. You're lying on a bed of spiders right now.
Oh, I'm just and I'm probably carrying my backpack too, so I'm just kind of like trying to shove my backpack full of mining equipment and everything else just to kill these creepy little shits.
Okay. On their turn, this time they're not going to attack you because they think that they're about to be crushed. So they're hiding beneath you. So that's the reward I'm giving you for being clever with what you do.
All right. I think also this is the turn you said where the poison would take effect.
Yes, actually, thank you for reminding me. You start to feel sluggish. At the start of each of your turns now, before you take any combat actions, I'm going to need you to make a wisdom save.
Okay.
And it is only DC 11, but if you fail the save, you do not get any actions on your turn.
All right. Do I need to make one now?
No, at the start of each turn.
Sweet.
Okay, going on to the spiders. Like I said, the baby spiders aren't going to bite you this turn because you tremored the ground. The other spiders are burning inside of their hellhole, and they do not come out to attack you, so it's Monty's turn.
So before I start on my turn, he's buried alive. He's got baby spiders crawling over him, and he's poisoned.
Yeah, typical dungeon crawl.
Which you have no idea about, by the way. You just
And he's
saw
a gnome.
the tunnel
No.
explode.
All I can
No,
say is innocence gone.
Yeah, no. As far as I know, he's just down there buried alive. That's all I know.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
So yeah, so as like I see all this going on, but like, seems fine now. And I'm going to actually grab my shovel out of my Dungeoneer's pack, and I'm going to set to like try and dig Yasni out.
Okay, so he's already dug 5 feet up. He is 15 feet down, so I'll let you dig 5 feet down this time. You only need to dig one more time to be able to get out.
Would he be hearing me screaming at this point, rolling around?
Yeah, you can hear him screaming now. Yeah, you hear the screams now. Okay, Kutari.
Kutari would respond to Aaron and just say, I was trying to help. Sorry. And then go over to Monty digging out Yasni. And I guess he would pull out he doesn't have a shovel, he's got a crowbar. And so he just starts like whacking away at the earth.
So since this isn't like the most practical of items to use to dig, I'll give you 1 foot of distance, baby. Yeah, so there we go, Kutari, baby.
I'm helping.
You know what you could do? You could treat it like an avalanche and start shoving your javelin down in. Like,
try and find him.
Down?
If the tip gets red, that means I got there.
Yeah, that means you got him. Yeah, you know he's down there if you get him.
And Monty's just standing there like, yeah, you're helping. Yeah, I guess.
I think using a crowbar probably more effective.
You
right?
do you, Kutari.
Yeah, you make a foot of distance. That's mostly just because dirt's spraying everywhere as you just start whacking the dirt. Okay. Oh, Aaron, your turn.
So Aaron, watching the two of them kind of set to digging, probably taking up most of the space there, would leave them to do that, but he would just kind of vigilantly keep watch, just sword and shield in hand, kind of back to them as they dig. Anything jumps out of any more holes that he's not aware of, he'll be ready to defend his comrades while they dig.
Yeah, as you start like scanning the clearing, kind of making sure nothing's moving, you see movement in the jungle. And stepping out of the shadows come 8 Ulman tribesmen. They're carrying their Ulman short bows, kind of aiming them at you as they step out, face painted, ready for war. And they just eye you, like, warily, as you guys kind of, like, one of you is whacking the ground with a crowbar, and the other one's digging with a shovel.
And as they kind of gather around him, he would actually say in Ulman, "Wait, there's spiders."
And they would kind of look at you guys like you're idiots. Like they're like, we know. Who are you? Why are you here? And Matal will kind of like step forward and like walk up next to you. We're friends. I am Omen too. We do not wish any harm to you. And he kind of like put a hand on your shoulder. I am with them. And he kind of points to you three. And he looked to you, Aaron, to say more.
Yeah. I'm here because I've heard rumors of darkness that lurks deep in the jungles and in the tombs. I come sent from my lord to dispatch such darkness, at least as much as I can manage. The terrors that have plagued the peoples of these lands cannot be allowed to continue to thrive. I'm here to do my best to ensure that they don't.
Yeah, and one of them would mutter, crazy northerners. And they'd kind of like look back at each other and look back at you. Weapon down. We will take you to our chief.
We need to get our friend out first. He's buried in the tunnel.
And they kind of like, you hear them like start talking to each other really quickly. Very well. Get him out. We help you. And they all kind of slowly approach these boulders, and you see them kind of reach into their bags and pull these leather pouches with this, it's like a powder in it. And they kind of fling it over the edge of the boulder, like kind of like coat the rim of it. And then they'd reach down and carefully pluck the wire. And as this thing comes out, a cloud of dust explodes up around it. And you see the spider kind of like start twitching and then just like slump down into the hole as they're essentially paralyzed.
And Aaron would just sheath his sword, kind of shoving the scabbard away from his side a little bit towards his back, just to kind of show that he's not trying to keep it within reach from these tribesmen, and would just put all his weapons away.
Okay. Yasni, as you're down in the pit, I need you to make me the wisdom save.
Nice. 15. Good.
Okay. Now, your little confined area starts to get hot. And you see fire licking at the back of the spider.
That's not good.
No, it's not. Okay, it's your turn. What do you do?
I'm probably just like, huh, that wasn't expected. And I quickly use Move Earth and try to dig myself out as fast as possible. And putting the earth toward the fire, I guess, as best as I can.
Yeah, you'd break through now because you only had like 3 feet of movement you had to make it. And so just fresh air just pours down in. And a shovel comes within inches of your face as the dirt is suddenly moved out of the way.
Hello.
You feel scuttling beneath your back.
Yeah, and I'm continuing to crawl. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm crawling between probably their legs. Just like move, here I come. And you watch like Yasni come out, backpack just dirt covered everywhere, and hundreds or dozens of these spiders that you guys already faced just like stuck to all sides of him. Just dead and smashed and falling off and limbs all over the place. Going, fire is coming. Better get away from the hole.
I just like to imagine that Yasni is just like caked in this like translucent like neon green, and like a geyser of spiders is coming out like around him as he's being pulled out of this hole.
Oh, it's like, has anyone seen the Haunted Mansion? There's like that scene at the mausoleum where like all the spiders just start pouring out around the door. It's like that. Like he crawls out, edges of the hole just as they all like pour out. You are out of the hole. You survived, but the first thing you notice, by the way, as you pull him out, he's caked in dirt. He's caked with these spiders. He's caked in his own blood. But blue translucent like color is going through his veins along his neck as the poison courses through his body.
Monty would see this and like, and he would take like not his bottle of antitoxin, but the one that they got off of the dead man in the forest. He would take that off his belt and hand it to Yasni.
So as he goes to hand the bottle to Yasni, Aaron would actually put his hand between the two of them, say, "Save the bottle. We'll need it later." He would kneel down next to Yasni and just put his hand down on just right over Yasni's face, just entirely encompassing it, and would just begin whispering in this strange language. And then after a moment would just say, "Lord of Justice, release them from the hands of the fiends." And as he says this, this blue color that's going through his veins would just begin to like almost shimmer, as if like it was becoming more and more light. And then just a flash of energy kind of just bursts from Aaron's hand, and you actually see the yellow energy like course through his veins. And as it does so, it burns away the poison that's coursing through him. On hands to take the poison off.
And what does it feel like as your blood is basically purified by burning light?
Yasni would just enjoy the experience. First, when his hand is over his face, he'd be like, "What are you doing?" And like mumbling and trying to talk as he's doing this, like he always tends to do. But yeah, as it courses through his body, he would kind of just like sit there and just probably enjoy it, almost like a relaxing massage.
Wow, this is great. Wow.
Oh, wow. But as this happens, the tribesmen turn back towards you, and they approach you, and if you do not resist, they tie your hands.
To me specifically?
Everybody, all five of you.
Monty would say in broken Olman, because he doesn't actually speak Olman, he would say, he would try to say, "Is this really necessary?" But he would actually say, "Is the Blue Yeti this Tuesday or next Wednesday?"
And they look at each other, and they look back at you, and they kind of like look at each other like, "Blue Yeti?" And the other one kind of just like shrugs. And then they just tie your hands anyways.
In Olman,
fair
Aaron
enough.
would just say, like, "Excuse my companion. He's an imbecile."
And they just kind of nod at this, and they're like, "Oh, that makes sense."
So yeah, Katari offers his hands out, and he would look down at Yasni, who's standing far below him, and he would just say, "You're a liability. I will now call you Journey Ender,
My
because
name
that
is
is what I
Stone
see
Orb.
you will be."
You can call me Stone Orb. That's what everybody else does.
Dead man might be more suiting.
I haven't died yet.
Yet.
As a little spider crawls up like behind your ear, and then down your robes and onto the ground.
And Aaron would just look Yasni dead in the eye, and then Kutari and Kutari as well. Just say, "I serve the Lord of Justice. For fools. If you want my protection, both of you need to be smarter."
Me!
You struck me. You could easily have hurt me.
I know my own strength. You were fine, were you not?
This time.
Sorry.
Monty from the back of the line, as he's like, I imagine they would have let him like hold his mule as they're walking along. He would be like, "Oh, you could have hurt me. Oh no. He could have hit me in the face. Oh no."
Party tensions are
My
wearing
hands are
thin.
bound. You're lucky my hands are bound, or you'd be getting hit in the face too.
And Strong Arm, just ignoring Monty, looks over at Aaron and just says, "Fine. The next time you need help, don't come to me. I won't come to you."
And I think that's where we'll take a break. Everybody go ahead and grab a drink, go to the bathroom, get what you need to. Be back here in 5 minutes, and we'll do channel introductions and character introductions, etc.
Well, this is going great so far.
It's fine. We'll be fine. It's fine. Fine. It's fine. I'm playing Monty much more of a shit than I was expecting.
Yeah, we're gonna get in there and just start leaving people to die.
Probably. It's probably not a good sign if somebody dies before getting to the dungeon.
I don't know. Maybe we'll pull it together. There'll be some kind of inciting incident that bonds us together.
Could be. What? Your mom was named Martha too?
Oh, God. All our moms were named Martha?
What? No. Well, we can't fight now. We just can't.
Hey, isn't that what brings people closer together?
Mom's names.
I at least like that your character's like totally happy-go-lucky, and so at least he's not going to be a problem.
No, he's
Like,
in absolute
I'm mad at
peace right now.
Aaron. Aaron's mad at all of us.
Dude, I've never played a gnome before, and that whole concept of like happy-go-lucky gnomes enjoy life I was just like, yeah, why not? I'll give it a shot.
You wonder why there's a reason everyone hates gnomes.
Exactly. I'm struggling to try to find a reason for them to be in my own world. So figured I might as well play one to see why.
They're just oddballs in general. That's really all they're there for, really. Like, they work with dwarves, but like that's pretty much all they have.
Yeah, and I don't know, they're just not different enough to me. They're just tiny, happy-go-lucky humans that live longer.
Well, no, they can be different because like gnomes in particular can be super weird, like just like really weird to be around, and like they're just creepy sometimes. That's kind of how gnomes are usually played off in fantasy settings.
I've never, besides Matt's gnome, never seen another one played. So it's always just like you said, like stories. I was almost trying to go Kender with him, but I was like, that's a little too far.
And Jeff, your character. Ooh, I'm just better than everybody.
He's not having any of our shit. He's not having any of it.
Just because I'm better than you doesn't mean you have to be jealous.
Oh, we're jealous, all right. We're super jealous.
I can tell you guys should tone it down a little bit. I can see the green with envy on your faces from here.
No, that's spider blood.
See, I should have played like a super happy paladin that like loves everybody and is like the glue that holds them together.
This party may need actual glue if somebody's gonna, figure out how to create Molotov cocktails. I don't know, not some super glue.
Hey man, just some flammable liquid and some cloth. There you go. That's all you need.
To be fair, to me, the way that Aaron sees it, Tyr's the god of justice, and Yasby got exactly what justice would decree in that situation.
He got
stupid stuff, so he's getting what's coming.
He
to
got
him.
what he deserved.
I really have to say this guy.
You're breaking up a lot, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm having some weird internet right now. I'm trying to.
Oh, man. Dude, but I thought you were so gonna throw that the flaming bottle on Aaron.
I thought about it. I really did, but then I was like, no, he's the only one that has healing spells. I probably shouldn't. No, it's literally like, for right now, the only reason that Monty is helping out any of you guys is because you're the one that's probably going to get him like into the dungeon at least, and probably help him out in the dungeon. Aaron is the one that does healing, and Katari, he's the muscle. That's literally the only reason that Monty is helping you guys out at all. For now, anyway. Again, we might have some sort of like insightful moment between the party that like keeps us like bonding.
Every group has one of those members. That's all I'm gonna say. So, how'd you guys feel about the spiders?
creepy crawly.
Don't come in because I know they felt you. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna give that. I'm gonna give that a 5 on the spook scale. That's a 5 out of 10 on the spook scale. I was pretty spooked.
What happened to Jeff? He was just
He
done.
keeps going in and out.
Too many spiders.
Yeah.
He was just done.
Yep.
He was too spooked.
I've never played with you before, Sean. This is my first time ever playing with you.
Nice. I think the only person here I've played with is Jeff, and that was actually at AbTab at Con.
Oh, you were at AtCon? Nice.
Yeah.
I wish I was able to go, man. That looked so fun.
We had it was very interesting. We I mean the whole event was fun, but I mean getting out there, like we scrubbed all of our vacations for the rest of this year just to get out there, saved up a shit ton of money because that was expensive. Because I'm from Philadelphia, so the plane tickets alone were almost $2,000.
Oh, holy cow. Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Yeah. So that was worth it. It was really fun. I hope they continue doing that and having more throughout the U.S. because that was a blast.
Where'd they have the one that they did?
There's
In Tacoma.
yeah, Washington.
Yeah, Washington State. Yeah.
Because, like, as far as I can tell, that's where, like, nearly all the founders of AvTab live in Washington.
Yeah, or have some backstory to it. Like Barker, I guess his family's out there, so he goes out there from New Mexico. Nate, I guess, was the same way. I guess I don't know. It's actually kind of funny because I was born in Spokane, Washington, as well. So like I have sort of history out in that general direction.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like a lot of the big RPG YouTubers are out in Washington for some reason. Like Hankeron's out there too, and it's like, I guess Washington's the place to be for tabletop.
I guess so.
Whatever. I think Utah's pretty great. That's all I can say. I mean,
wizards out there.
Yes, dungeon master wizards like myself.
I don't know. But I mean, Wizards of the Coast, are they based out of Washington as well?
They're both based out of Florida.
That's weird. Yeah, don't know why Washington's the hub then, but yeah, it seems like a lot. And even like Carol and a half dozen other people live like right there.
Yeah, West Coast. Yeah.
But not even just West Coast. Like it seemed like most people were within like 500 miles of the AtCon place, besides a few of us. I figured you'd, with the population of California, you'd see a crap ton of people in California, but
There's only a lot of people were at AtCon, man. I was surprised how many people were able to just drop what they were doing and fly all the way out there.
Yeah, it was. I think at the end, only like 6 didn't show or something like that.
Like there were 6 people who planned to be there, and then they just didn't show up.
Yeah, and I believe that's what the count was at the end or something like that. It were like 3 couples or something like that. Yeah, it was very like almost everybody showed up who signed up.
Interesting. Well, man, I wish I'd been able to go though.
I'm okay now.
Yeah, sounds great.
For now.
For now, we can only keep hoping. All right, let's go ahead and do character intros and plug anything you want, channel, Facebook group, whatever you want. We'll start with Corey and we'll end with John.
All right, so I'm playing Kutari, Strong Arm, Gorudando Katai. And for the uninitiated, the Goliath last name is always their tribal name. So every single Goliath I've played is always from this tribe. So that there's this like kind of continuity going on. But also because they're like so tribal and weird, I always do something kind of like off meta with them. They're never just like great sword or great axe fighters. So Strong Arm is the tribe's archer, and so he doesn't use a bow though. He just throws essentially javelins, giant arrows. And everyone from the Gorudandaka tribe kind of seeks glory, and the strongest, best members will go off into the world to seek out to become legends in their own right. And so that's Strong Arm's motivation, is he's trying to discover this temple and go through it and clear it out and come back with the story and riches that are inside.
All right, awesome. Moving on to Jeff.
Yes, I'm Jeff. I have a YouTube channel and Facebook page, both called Encounter Balance, so feel free to check that out if you're so inclined. Yeah, and for this game, I am playing Aaron, Hand of Tyr. He is a paladin dedicated to Tyr, the god of justice. And he is kind of going on this expedition to serve as the kind of linguist and historian for the group, but also to rid the land of the darkness that lies here. There's rumors of vampire gods and evil things lurking within these temples. And the only just ending for fiendish creatures such as that is death at his hand. So his goal is just to clear out the bad things here and hopefully not die, which is, in his opinion, his companions are not helping very much with that goal so far.
Ooh, spitting fire. All
I
right.
was helping you.
Okay, going on to Sean.
So hello, my name's Sean. No channel or anything, just a friendly member of the AbTab community. I am playing Yasni Rolnor, nicknamed Stone Orb. He is the first gnome that I've ever played, so I'm trying to make him the happy-go-lucky, everything is wonderful, typical gnome that loves everything. He's a rock gnome, land of the mountains, so I built his class around an archaeologist, sorry, and just flavored druid spells around that. So everything temple stone related, that's his thing. And he only has 400 or so years to live, and he wants to visit every ruin artifact place in the entire world before he dies.
All right, awesome. Passing on to Jonathan.
Hi guys. I'm kind of in Sean's boat here. Nothing really to plug. I had a live play podcast at one time or another, but due to scheduling conflicts, that kind of died. But I'm playing Montague du Montague, dashing adventurer of Greyhawk, and according to him, like frequent venture into the dungeons of Castle Greyhawk. Yeah, I'm playing him more of a shit than I planned on playing him, but just going with the flow. Out of the party, he's probably the one that wants to be here the least, if that makes any sense. But he won't say no to riches beyond his wildest dreams. So that's mainly the reason why he's here. That and lying profusely. So I hope to have fun.
All right. And I am Tyler Hurst from the channel On a Roll. I am enjoying running this game. If you can't tell, this is the hidden Shrine of Tamoachan. I figured it'd be more normal to do a first session actually getting to the shrine rather than just starting there, as most dungeon modules have you do. But without further ado, let's go ahead and continue. You are bound tightly by hand. It seems that these tribesmen have found a way to somehow make Stranglevine docile, and it wraps tightly your two hands together, tying itself in place. You're led through the darkness and the shadow, through patches of light, and through strange aromas and smells. At one point, you pass what appears to be some sort of a grove of beautiful pink and yellow flowers. I assume that, as always, Yasni starts to steer himself in that direction. And one of them grabs you by the head and turns you back in the direction you're supposed to go and says in very broken common, "You do not want to go and smell the beautiful death, my friend." And promptly prods you along the trail with the rest of your comrades. Occasionally you see things moving in the darkness, as always. Things watching on the very edges of the field of your vision, hungrily staring at you. The Zotzilaha. Your tribesmen continue leading you along, winding through the darkness, through the patches of light, on a path that only they can see. Until eventually you stop. Here, in a large area, single strands of strangling vine hang. Usually they cluster together, more likely to catch something. But for some reason here, they exist separately. One of the tribesmen grabs your arms, Aaron, and leads you towards one of the strangling vines. What do you do?
Aaron would, at least for now, let this tribesman lead him.
And as he leads you over towards this vine, you see him reach into his bag at his waist, and he pulls out a foul-smelling cream, which he wipes around your hands and the vines, and then holds your arms up to the vine itself. The vine wraps several times around your hands, around the bindings that hold you, and then it starts to coil on itself and lift you into the air. You ascend skyward into the foliage and disappear above. They then take you, Monty, and start leading you over to another vine.
Well, my mule is my mule coming. You take my mule with me. There's all like my mule, like all my things are on that mule. Is it coming? Is it coming along with us?
As you're saying this, they're
Coming.
smearing the cream on your vine and on your hands.
Well, all right. Like, yeah, Katari, you watch that mule for me, Katari. You watch that mule for me. I guess
You lift your hands up, and it happens to you too. And he says, the tribesman next to you, like, says in like broken common, "You talk too much," and you're like pulled up into the air with that as the last note, disappearing into the foliage. Next, they start leading Katari over.
Yeah, he lets it happen. So they put that around his hands, and he raises them up, prepared for something horrible to happen.
Okay, same shindig. You're lifted up out of sight, Yasni.
Yasni this whole time would probably also have been told to shut up, but as these people are being lifted, he's curious. Where are we going? How did you get the vines to separate like that? What kind of material is this that you have us bound with? And just asking all these questions, hoping they'd answer something.
Yeah, and as you keep talking, one of them like reaches into his bag and pulls out this powder and throws it in your face. Make me a wisdom save.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, geez. Well, thank God that's good. 18.
Okay. Instead of going completely paralyzed, your lips just go numb, and it sounds like slurred talking as you try and speak.
But
Wow.
I continue to talk. That wasn't very nice. Now, how did you get the vines to do that? But I probably couldn't resist because I'm so small anyway. So
Yeah, your body starts to kind of like go a little bit limp, and the one is like starts talking to the other one, and they're just like, and they kind of like hang you onto this vine by your hands, and you're lifted up into the air. And as you pass the lowest branches of the foliage where you couldn't see beyond, you break into an area of sunlight, and all around you are these tree houses of sorts with bridges attaching them, leading back and forth between the different houses and hovels that are wrapped around the trunks of these massive trees. You're lifted up to the edge of a platform where several tribesmen wait with the rest of your friends, the rest of your party, and they pull you off the vine, rubbing the vine softly, letting it kind of smooth and become less tense. And they pull you off and set you on the ground next to your group on this wooden walkway suspended high above the ground.
Yeah, Yasni would be like, the guys didn't tell me how they got the vines like this.
Yasni, what happened to your face? Did they do
They
something to you?
They didn't throw powder in your face either?
No.
Huh. Okay. And I just look around.
Now, who do I talk to about my mule?
Guys, quick 2-minute break. My soda just exploded all over me. So I'm gonna step away and be right.
So during this break, Kutari would look over at Aaron after seeing what's going on with these two. Say, maybe we should reconsider helping each other.
Arrow just let out a long sigh. Just yes, we're to be surrounded by fools. At least the least foolish among us can watch out for each other.
That sounds good. It's the way we used to do it in the mountains.
Oh, I'm from the mountains.
You are not from the Gorudando, Katai. If you were, you probably would have been left behind.
But I'm from the mountains.
Monty is just in the background looking over the invoice of all the stuff that was on his mule.
It's just gone forever.
It's just it doesn't look like that long a list, but then you guys watch it just folds downward to his feet. It's on that mule.
Yeah, what exactly was in there that you aren't gonna have now?
Let's see. Let me pull up the list. Let's see. Besides what's on me, there are. Let's see. A grappling hook, a bag of 1,000 ball bearings, 10 sacks, a 10-foot pole,
I'm
7
glad
candles. 7 candles, 9 oil flasks, 17 sheets of parchment, which I should mark those down because I made those maps for you all. A signal whistle, an ink pen, and then a bunch of other small stuff that I was just trying to spend all my gold on.
It's actually funny that you mentioned all that. So if you're reading that off, Yasni's just yep, that's in my bag, that's in my bag, that's in my bag. His backpack is just as big as him.
Man, how embarrassing! Even on live stream too, man. Sorry, guys.
How embarrassing!
Well, even though it's on live stream, I didn't see it, so I think you're okay. I don't think anybody else saw it.
Cool. Well, I did it off camera. I was like, and then I look over and it's pouring out. I'm like,
don't worry. Girls weren't watching. Girls didn't see.
oh, okay. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. So party. You guys stand on the precipice of the village of Sunpoint. This is the village on the map that you're supposed to get to. And the tribesmen surround you and start leading you across several bridges and around several of these kind of wooden boardwalks that line these buildings until you see a much larger wooden structure. It seems to be built on the largest tree. And many tribesmen kind of watch you as you pass and start following your procession until you have 40 or 50 people behind you.
Monty would kind of get a big ego over this, and he would actually start strutting while he's being led along. Followers, yeah. All right, I can get used to this.
Yeah, Yasni would be taking in the sights. What can they see? Are they completely above the canopy of the jungle, or just in some of the higher branches?
So you're in the mid canopy. So I have the lower floor, the middle range, and the top. You're right between the low and the top.
So still can't see very far.
Yeah, there's much more light here, definitely. But it's still not like it's patchy still here and there.
All right. Then the guard who's also probably leading me is probably still getting an earful. I'd probably be assuming now that the statue that we passed was of one of their chiefs, and so probably talking about that in some way, shape, and form, and also letting them know that they let it deteriorate too much and they should take better care of it.
You see the guard start reaching for the pouch at his waist again. The other one kind of like shakes his head. You hear him say to the other guard, give him too many doses and he'll die. Just one should be enough. Don't give him another one. They continue leading you guys along this path, surrounding you on all sides, leading you to the front door. This large double door of this, it seems to be some sort of meeting hall, maybe. And as you arrive, they stop at the very front of it and wait until the doors are opened before them. People have gathered here, maybe 20 or so. It seems as if the whole tribe has followed you here or was already here. And sitting at the very head of this group is a figure dressed in the same clothing as that stone statue you saw before. He's obviously the chief. He kind of eyes you as you're led in and kind of just nods to the guards who let a few more people through and then shut the door behind you. 5 kind of mounds of cushions are kind of placed on the floor before the king, not the king, the chief. And a little mat rolled out for you guys to sit on. Though your hands are still bound and reeking with that pungent odor of the cream they used.
Yes, so I'll take my seat.
I would do the same.
Yeah, Monty, he's no stranger to noble decorum, so he takes his seat as well.
So 3 of you sit down. Or does Aaron sit down too?
Yeah.
Okay. As you all sit down, none of you watch to see what Matal did, who is your guide. And he kind of bows first, placing both of his hands in front of his head like this, and then kneels and then sits. You guys start hitting your head with your...
Yeah, like after the fact doing it, of course.
Yeah, so the chief kind of looks over all of you. I mean, you can't be expected to know all the rules. And then speaks to you in Ulman. Who are you?
I'm Aaron, Hand of Tyr. These are my traveling companions.
I know your type, Hand of Tyr. Others like you have come through here before. It pains me to ask, though I can probably assume. What is your purpose?
My purpose is to cleanse the evil creatures from the temples and lands. The motivations of my companions, I can't speak for them. But that's my purpose.
Do you seek Tamoachan?
We do.
And as you say we do, kind of whispers and kind of mutterings pass throughout the outside of the room among all the people sitting there. You hear things like, we can't let them, we need to stop them. Things like, You remember with the last group that came through? Things like, how many will die before they know that they can't go into the tomb? And the chief holds up a hand. There is no need for this. I assumed that you were seeking the temple. Another hand came through here and already cleansed it. All the riches have already been taken. There's nothing left there for you. Roll me insight, Jeff.
That is 16.
He's lying through his teeth.
I didn't need to roll insight for Aaron to believe that. Aaron just looks just right at the chief. My kind passed through before. And you know that we do not appreciate lies and dishonesty. Fears surrounding the temple, but you do not need to by claiming falsely that it's been taken care of. I heard the whispers of your people begging us not to go, that something had to be stopped. Don't take me for a fool.
And he stares at you. We cannot let you go to the temple. Do not force us to execute you. And as he says this, several guardsmen walk up and place spears at your throats.
I try and break the vines.
Give me a strength check or athletics. I guess if you have athletics.
As he's doing that, Yasni would probably be leaning over to Aaron, who's doing all the talking, and be like, "What's they saying?"
I would look up at the guard holding the spear to my throat and say in Elvish, "Do you speak Elvish?"
The guard looks at you. You talk too much. And keeps holding the spear at your throat.
And flinch with the spear at his throat. He's determined. Why do you fear us going to the temple so badly? That she would slur and just to keep us away.
And the chief looks at you. We do not fear that you go to the temple. We fear what comes back. I've seen your type before. I've told you, Hand of Tyr. The last one of you who went came back with the curse of the Bloodless. We had to burn him alive. And he kind of like, his eyes drop. He's not happy about this. By the way, you've never heard of these people. Like, they try to stop people from going there, but you've never heard of them executing anyone before. You can probably assume that he might be bluffing, but he might not be also. It's up to you. And he kind of looks over at the wall, and hanging there would be a medallion of Tyr. Like, he's not lying about that, at least.
And Aaron, the chief's eyes kind of directing Aaron's gaze instinctively. Just stare for a good long second. And look back towards the chief. You can see a face of anger. He tries his best to hide it, but there's just too much of it to fully conceal. No attention to it, and just says, our journey are our own to bear. We come back with any curse you're welcome to.
I'm going to assume you said welcome to burn us too, but you cut out.
Yeah.
And he looks at you and he says, "That's the thing. Your consequences are not your own to bear, because we bear them each time one of you comes back with the curse. Each time we know that we let you go, and an entire expedition of men die and now serve Zotzilaha. All
you'd
you'll
rather
find
just-
in Tamoachan is death. Tear, hand of tear.
So you would sit here cowering in darkness then, as the vampire rules over you, striking fear day after day, generation after generation.
You do not think that we have tried to stop this vampire? To stop this vampire god?" And you kind of look over at the wall. And that's when you see that lining it is spear after spear after spear after spear after spear. And each of them carry so you see that each of the guardsmen, each of these warriors has like a kind of like a feather in their hair. Every single one of these spears has a feather dangling from it. We have tried to purge the temple. It was once our home. Do not think to tell me that we have tried and that now we hide in darkness. And his gaze would kind of fall down to his hands. He'd whisper, "My own son."
Aaron would pause for a moment, and his gaze would kind of fall with the chieftains, and then kind of over his three other companions who have journeyed with him this far already. I understand your reservations and understand the pain of death. I've seen my people fall just as much as you have in my past. But every day that we let that evil continue is another day that its influence spreads, that more people fall. I won't ask for your blessings nor for your help, but I owe it to my order, to my God, and to my companions who rode here to at least try. Try as your people have tried, and if we try and fail, then we will have failed in honor and glory, attempting to rid something that has been plaguing for centuries. I won't ask for your men or anything else, but I ask that you trust me. I'm not like my brethren that you've seen.
And he would look at you. "I see that you are resolute in this. Well, there is no need for all four of you to die." And he'd switch to common. "I see that your friend will not be dissuaded from entering the temple, but perhaps this will change your minds." And he looks to the side. And from the side, somebody walks, a guardsman, two guardsmen, carrying a massive chest, which they put on the ground and kick over. Golden coins, idols, amulets, all manner of platinum and silver and jewels pour out of it. "We will give this to you if you will go. If you will not proceed onward to the temple, we will give you all of this.
Everyone in this room can hear an audible gulp come from Monty as he just sees this pile of treasure in front of him.
I would probably still lean over to Aaron a little bit and be like, "Why didn't he speak this way in the beginning? What did he say?"
And the words would just fall on deaf ears. Aaron would just gaze at the pile of treasure, then over at Monty, and then over at Katari, and then just back at the chieftain with just like a grim uncertainty on his face.
And so as you look at Katari, you see just a resolute look in his eye as he speaks aloud and says that taking what is not earned has no glory or honor in it. I have come to complete a task of legendary scale. I will not be dissuaded.
And at this, the chieftain looks at you. And do they tell legends about dead men?
Yes, because if you are a legend, you never truly die. Have you not heard the tale of Kuori Skyfaller? He starts to go on this rant about this impressive Goliath who ripped this horrible betraying eagle out of the sky. Or Orillo Rock Smasher. And he talks about this other Goliath who fought with a stone in each hand and smashed his stone fists against this ancient red dragon and died valiantly, protecting his friends.
And he listens to this. And he says, no one will tell your tale. When you die up there, no one will even know what happened to you. I have seen expedition after expedition after expedition pass through our village. Some are wise and take the golden leave, and they are the ones who return home and tell tales of the Amedio jungle. But those who go up do not return. And if they do, they come back with a curse and are burned here.
I stand up and try and break the vines.
Yeah, you've already tried. The vines tighten until the point where your hands like have no circulation.
Can I use my key to stun it?
The vine?
Is it a sentient thing?
Like,
is it alive? Is it
kind of not
as a creature?
No, it doesn't qualify as a creature.
Damn it. Why didn't I be a spellcaster?
Besides, how are you going to strike it? Your hands are bound. You're going to like, ah!
I could smash it into my knee.
Okay. Well, no, you can't stun the vine.
Damn it. Fine, then I stand up and proclaim that I will not die. The legendary Kutari strong arm Gorudando Katai.
Okay, as you stand up, I'm rolling an attack for one of these guys. He gets an 18. He sweeps your leg out from beneath you and drops you to the ground and points the spear at your throat, shouting at you in Ulman.
I kick him in the leg and stunning strike.
You're gonna start this? Okay. Give me an attack.
Oh, hold on. Oh God. 12.
That misses. He expertly steps out of the way, and I'm gonna have him make a butt end of his spear attack. And he nat 20s.
Perfect.
He hits you for 6 points of damage as his spear butt end cracks across the edge of your face. I'm gonna have you make a con save.
I use my stone endurance to attempt to avoid the damage.
Okay.
as he hits me in the face, and I don't even flinch.
Well, how does your stone endurance work?
So I roll a d12 as a reaction, and so
Uh-huh.
it's a d12 plus my con, and I reduce the damage by that much. So I rolled a 6, so that's a -7.
Okay. Yeah, you don't even flinch as he cracks you across the face with a spear, and he kind of like stumbles backwards, like, what the heck? And then other guardsmen run up and they pin you down.
That's fine.
What the
I
heck?
allow them.
They're like, wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow, this is great. Wow.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you guys watch them just take Katari down to the ground.
That's that. You shouldn't be fighting, Tari. Oh, okay.
The chieftain looks at you two, Yasni and Monty. Will you take the golden leave? Or will you pursue in this farce?
No, I need to go. I'm not in it for the treasure. I want to see it.
He looks at you, Monty.
Monty is like a million miles away. He's just like staring into like the glitter of this gold. But he like just drifts his gaze over to the other three and see they've made their choice. And then he looks back down at the gold and says, like out loud, he says, "It's very tempting, but I'm not going to make it back to the coast by myself."
Take a point of inspiration, baby. Take a point of inspiration. That's great. That's awesome.
That's so good. I was like, how is he going to stay in this adventure in my head?
And then he says, in Elvish, whatever will be, will be.
The chieftain kind of just like shrugs, like, yeah, that's a good point. You probably wouldn't make it back by yourself. And he kind of looks at the chest and kind of nods, and they clean it all up. He says, very well.
A single tear rolls down Monty's face.
He weeps gently.
You reach out for it. Hold on. Let me just one more second.
The chief kind of just shrugs. And he says, Ketala, I tried. And he'd look at you all. Very well. If you are persistent in this, then I must uphold the laws of my village. You may not stay the night with us. And you see now that the sun is dipping beyond the horizon. You are going to have to travel in the darkness the rest of the way. And he says, I wish you luck in your journey, but I do not hope for it. Matal is kind of like, he wasn't really given a choice. He's your guide. He's been hired by you guys. He does what you do. And he kind of just looks down at his hands and looks back up at you and stands to his feet. Steel yourself when you pass through the walls of eyes. They will seek to carry your mind away. And then he just nods to you and looks at the guards and nods to them. And they free you from your vine bindings. And he would walk up to you, Aaron, as you stood to your feet. And I bet you're taller than him. And he would kind of look up at you. And he'd look down at a necklace around his neck, and he'd pull it off. And you see hanging at the bottom of it is it looks like some sort of like maybe a tooth or several claws of some kind. And he puts it around your neck. As long as you're wearing this item, life steal, any life drain attacks are halved against you. And he puts it around your neck and nods to you. My hope goes with you, adventurer, traveler, whatever you are. And we hope that you do succeed. But I do not believe that you will.
Aaron just looks down towards the chief, just keeping this eye contact that they've been holding. And just says, "You may not believe it, but you will see me again. I will not end up on your stake to burn either." And he points over to the amulet of Tyr that's hanging on the wall and says, "My brother's amulet. Can I take it with me?"
He would look at it and just nod to one of the guardsmen who'd take it down off the wall and walk it over to you.
And he would put it on kind of under, kind of like just wearing both that amulet and the amulet that the chieftain gave him. Just kind of nod and say in Ulman so that the crowd could hear, "We will be back."
If you looked at the crowd, none of them believe you. They all have dead, downcast eyes, and they just shake their heads. And all at once, they say, "Quetzalcoatl protect you." Okay, unless anyone else has anything else to say, the guards would lead you out.
I would do the typical the thing that everybody else is probably thinking or even saying in the chat. So, but you're not finishing guiding us?
And they look at each other and they look back at you. And one of them actually kind of chuckles a bit. "You do not travel the jungle at night, friend."
Well, that's fine, but we paid him to be our guide, so I think either he guide us or we get money back.
Oh, you're talking about Matal. Yeah,
Yes,
Matal
yes,
is
yes.
coming with you, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I thought you were talking about like the rest of the guardsmen. They're like, "Oh." Yeah, Matal would follow you all, and he'd walk up to the chief, and he'd kind of put his head down like that and bow again. And then he'd wait for you guys all to follow the guards out.
I would actually walk up to the chief as well and, do the bowing gesture and look up at him, look into his eyes and say, "Is my mule okay?"
And the chief kind of just like frowns and looks at one of the guardsmen. The guardsman just like rolls his eyes and nods. Okay. Unless anyone else has anything else to say, the guards then lead you out of the gathering hall. You walk back across the latticework of bridges and wooden boardwalks until you arrive at those vines again. The guards look at you and they hold out this pot of cream.
Monty walks up to it and like powders his hands with it like a gymnast would, and he's like, "Hup, hup, ho, hup, hup," onto the vine.
You just jump on?
Well, I mean, I don't just jump on, but I'm like gesturing onto the vine. I mean, if the vine's gonna like snap from my weight, then no, I wouldn't just jump on.
Okay, I thought you were just jumping onto the vine. Okay. The guard kind of looks to you, Aaron, since you speak the language, and says, "You will slide down the vine. If you clench your fist, you move faster. The cream makes it so that you may slide easy. Open your hands larger and clench with your feet to move slower."
And Aaron would relay that in common.
Monty would hear this, be like, "Are they telling us how to climb down the vine, or are they telling us how to do?" Never mind.
Okay, so this is going to require a acrobatics check or athletics or some sort of like handling check to be able to do this well without sliding too fast or sliding far too slow.
Drum roll, please. $10. There it is.
There it is, baby. Yasni, what do you do to like royally screw this up?
I honestly would say like he would attribute it to his pack or something like that. So he's like, "Oh, I got this," and slides down, not realizing that his backpack probably weighs as much as him, and so it's counterbalancing him, and he's like falling this way, and then just completely forgets what the guy said. It just tries to like grab on as best he could, flips, tumbles upside down, and probably falls the rest of the way.
Okay. You start to fall incredibly quickly. Roll me a luck die.
Sweet, because I actually have the talent luck as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
Can I add anything to that if the luck die itself fails?
If the luck die itself fails, go ahead and you can use your luck on it to re-roll it.
Okay. Oh, nope, I'll take it. 8.
Okay. You are incredibly lucky. You actually, like you said, you start tipping this way, so the vine starts like turning that way, and your pack pulls you off the vine. But as your uncreamed arm hits the vine, the strangle vine snaps and grabs your arm.
Sweet.
So now, like 20 feet off the ground, you're dangling by like your elbow.
This is typical. As I probably wait for everybody else to slide down properly and get me down.
Eventually, you do get down. And you stand on the floor as night starts to settle over the forest. I am going to need survival checks again from everybody.
Is it just survival, or can we do survival or perception like before?
I'll allow perception, but it'd be a disadvantage because it's dark.
The one thing I was supposed to be good at, I messed it up.
But lucky for you, well, actually, no, you rolled low enough to actually be part of this mess also. As you guys traverse the jungle, at the front of the group walks Katari and Matal. And Yasni, I'm guessing, is at the front as well, probably like talking the ear off of Matal, trying to get answers about what was happening inside the chieftain's hut.
Pretty much, yep.
Matal stops for a moment to look back at the rest of the group to make sure everybody's following. You two continue forward, and your foot sinks as you slip into quicksand. The ground almost seems to swallow you. You hear a pop as a bubble beneath you erupts, and you both go in up to your waists.
Wait, me and Matal or
No, you and Yasni.
and Yasni? Got it.
Yasni, you go up to your chest because you nat one.
Alrighty. So mechanically and being a druid of nature, would quicksand be able to be manipulated by any of my spells like I could normal earth? You're muted.
You're muted, yeah.
So the thing about quicksand is you don't want to move earth on quicksand. All you're doing is making it so you could slip further down.
Which actually is a fallacy. But I mean, like, could my spells affect quicksand as like they could earth? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's very loose earth, basically, mixed with water.
Okay, so then I would immediately actually try that move earth spell, but instead of making it like move earth, it has the ability to turn difficult terrain into normal terrain. So I'm assuming that I would try to make the quicksand not make us sink as very well, so that we could possibly climb out easier.
I will add an additional round then onto each of your turns before you are swallowed by the quicksand. You guys have one more round to get out. Okay. What is the rest of the party going to try and do to get you out?
Monty, as soon as he sees this, he would actually be digging through the packs on his mule and pulling out the 10-foot pole that he had packed in there and start putting it together.
Aaron would go over to Katari, actually, and take his shield off, and basically, holding one end of the shield in both of his hands, try to extend it out to Katari, hoping that he'll be able to hold on to it enough to for him to try to help pull him out, knowing that Katari struggling on his own would only make it worse.
So you're going to grab onto Katari's hand to try and pull him free?
Yeah, well, I'm going to, if he was far enough in, he would use his shield to kind of extend his reach a little bit. But yeah, he's trying to grab onto that and pull him out.
Okay. Go ahead and give me... Okay, go ahead and give me a athletics check at disadvantage.
Hopefully this isn't the part where I pull you in.
Don't nat one, baby.
Can I use inspiration to negate disadvantage?
Yeah, you can. Did you nat one?
So these are my rolls. I had a 20 and a 1.
Actually, no. You can't negate it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you can. With a pop, Katari, you are pulled free of the quicksand. You are back on dry land. Moving back over to Yasni as the pole is created. You sink, Yasni, another 2 feet.
Woohoo! So I'm probably below my top of my head now.
You're like right here. You can breathe out of your nose.
All right, then I would probably be I carry a quarterstaff too, so I'd probably be trying to give that to somebody. But I'm sure my quarterstaff is also sized for me, so it's only probably a 4-foot quarterstaff.
Okay.
I'm just seeing if somebody could grab it and kind of just let me out. Just be like, well, I did the best I could. It's still kind of sinking, by the way.
Yeah, somebody could try and grab the quarterstaff to stop you from going any deeper, but they're going to need to excavate you now because you're So I'm guessing Aaron grabs the quarterstaff, so you're not sinking any further. Now I'm going to need... I'm going to turn this into a skill challenge to get him out. Basically, each of you 3 are going... Or I guess 4 of you also, because I'll let you use the skill too, Yasni. Are going to choose a skill. You can use the same skill. And you guys need at least 3 successes, DC 14, to pull him out. So we'll start with Corey and then work our way. We'll do Corey. Actually, Corey just got out. So we'll go Jonathan, Yasini, Aaron, Corey. So go ahead, Jonathan. Which skill are you going to use?
So I'm guessing this is similar to the skill challenge mechanics from Subari. So I'm guessing I'm just using the whatever skill I think works in this situation, right?
Yeah, one that nobody has used yet. Since you're the start, though, it doesn't matter. So just choose one you feel like fits.
Okay. So I think I want to use insight. So I kind of as a person who's knowledgeable of dungeons and traps and stuff like this, I would know the more you struggle and the more you pull with quicksand, the further the harder it pulls back. So I know I want to use insight to figure out the correct amount of force to use against this quicksand to try and pull Yasni out, if that works for you.
Yeah, that's perfect. Go ahead. Roll me insight.
All right.
DC 14.
Ooh, got a 24.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you know that based off his size and how deep he's already been buried, that you're going to need at least 2 people to put a bunch of force into pulling him out. And something that he can get his arms on once he's his shoulders are out. So yeah, you start relaying this information to the group, and that is 1 success. So go ahead, Yasni.
I would probably just use I guess nature, my ability to know about the earth and the stone, to know what to grab or what not to move, or and heck, maybe even think to myself hey, quicksand, how it's created to minimize my my sinking, I guess, in my struggle. Maybe not to get myself out, but at least to allow them to get me out easier.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and roll.
Nat 20.
Perfect. Yeah, that's an instant success, and I'll give advantage to the next person because of how successful you were. So go ahead, Jeff.
So I think at this point, Aaron would just be likely just attempting to pull. He's got the other end of this staff, and he wants to try to get him at least a little bit further up. So kind of listening to Montague's advice about, use this force here and try to pull in this way. And Yasni's knowledge kind of guiding him. I'm just going to use athletics and take the advantage.
Okay.
And with advantage, that is a 24.
Okay. Through all 3 of your combined efforts and Corey's supervision, you guys managed to pull Yasni free of this quicksand pit, and with a pop, he comes flying out of the earth.
I like to imagine they're both just on the ground, like Bill Murray in Ghostbusters, just he slimed me.
Exactly. Got Slimer craft, but quicksand still covered on you.
Yeah, it's in your pants, it's in your shirt, it's up in your mouth a little bit. It's everywhere.
Ew, icky pooey.
Yeah, as you start shaking your pants out, a dead spider falls out of your pant leg.
He doesn't mind the quicksand, but that spider, oh Jesus.
Yeah, it was digging. It was digging for more than gold. We're just putting it that way. So yeah, you get cleaned off. You climb out of the pit. And yeah, you guys survived the quicksand.
Thank you very much, guys.
Is it night now? Is it pitch black now in the jungle?
Oh yeah, it is pitch black in the jungle. Matal lit a torch. Did anyone else light torches?
Yeah, I'll say Monty has a torch out as well.
Who has the highest passive perception?
We do at 16.
You hear a branch snap somewhere on the trail behind you.
I roll perception.
Okay.
Crit! Ugh.
Blood red eyes peer at you out of the darkness.
Do I know what this thing is?
An Ocelotaliki. A shadow panther. You two, well, I guess, yeah, so the two of you who fell into the quicksand take a point of exhaustion. Everybody
I
roll
don't-
initiative.
Is 1 point disadvantage on ability checks?
It's disadvantage on ability checks, yeah.
Just ability checks, yeah.
All right.
Which means initiative, right?
I don't think initiative is an ability check. I
I
believe
don't
it's just
think it's
initiative.
technically an ability check, yeah.
I thought.
Oh, really? I thought it was a dexterity check.
That's
yeah.
what I thought too.
It's not really a check. You wouldn't say initiative is a check.
I think like
Bard,
one of
Jack of all
the
trades works on it.
Blizzard people. I mean, not Blizzard people. One of the D&D people said it was in like a UA or something like that.
Okay.
I mean, if you guys want to roll with disadvantage, go ahead.
Well,
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm
matter.
on.
If
I
you guys
rolled a
want to.
3 and a 2, so it doesn't matter either way.
Ooh, that's spicy in that
Sorry.
one.
I'm actually at 3. There it is.
And what'd you get, Jeff, on your 2? Man, you guys got that spicy initiative this time around.
That's a spicy initiative. Ah,
Okay, well, you guys are going after the Ocelotaliki. Followed by Monty, followed by you nat 1, Corey?
Yeah, but it's a 3. It's a +2.
Okay, well, I mean, it's still nat 1. You still go at the very end. So, Ocelotaliki, Monty, Yasni, Aaron, and last but not least, oh my goodness, I can never remember your name. Kutari, okay.
Just strong arm. Just go with strong arm.
Nah, man, I'm
He's
gonna
got
call
a
you by your real name.
strong throwing arm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The Ocelotaliki pounces out of the shadows at the closest person to it, who is bearing a light. Matal is going to attack him twice. Oh my laws, you are so lucky that thing did not attack you because it double crit. Yeah, Matal's probably donezo here. Let's see.
No!
Oh, that's a good roll on damage too. 13, 17, plus 8, 25, doubled. 50 points of damage to Matal. Matal is ripped limb from limb. It lands on top of him. You see its teeth. I don't know how many people saw the linked... well, never mind. I'm not going to bring that up. But Game of Thrones is leaked, and there's a pretty messy scene. This dude is, ripped limb from limb. It lands on top of him. A claw burrows into his chest, another on the other side, and it literally almost rips him in half as its teeth bite down on both sides of his head and shake him back and forth like a rag doll and throw him into the forest. Monty.
and Monty will go, "No, not Matal, this integral character to our adventure. No, you helped so much in the last fight." As I take out my longsword and attempt to stab this Ocelotaliki.
Okay, go ahead.
Ooh, that probably won't do it. That was a 14. Big 14.
No, it doesn't.
Mm.
And this is the thing. As your blade strikes, it looks like it strikes true. It just seems like it passes through a body of shadow. And furious red eyes look up at you. This thing stands at least 6 feet tall. Massive hind legs and forelegs. Rippling with muscle. Its head, a giant snarling jaguar. Yasni. Muted, good sir.
I knew I was going to do that eventually. How close is this to us? Like within 10 feet, I'm assuming?
Yeah, within 10 feet. Metal kind of stepped 10 feet away from the group as you guys were pulling him free.
I guess I'm going to pull some pebbles out of my pouches and cast Magic Stone on them, which is a bonus action, and those magic pebbles just become like better sling stones, basically. I'm going to hurl one of them at it. I'm a 5. I'm sure does not hit.
Yep. Again, same thing. It looks like your stone struck true, but then it just comes out the other side of this thing's body, like it was passing through a shadow. Aaron.
So Aaron, seeing this beast having torn their guide to pieces and the attacks of his companions do nothing, would just step forward in between this thing and Yasni and Montague. And he would look directly into those glowing red eyes and just say, "The only justice for death from a beast is death in kind." And as he speaks these words, I'm using as a bonus action one of my paladin features here, my Vow of Enmity, which is going to give me advantage against this thing for a minute.
Go
and with
ham.
And with that advantage, that's going to give me my 2 attacks are going to be 2 19s on the die, which is 26 and 26.
Whew. You guessed it. Yeah, that hits both times.
And as he raises his sword for the first slash, it begins to glow with this radiant energy, imbued with the power of justice and vengeance for his friend, as I'm unleashing a divine smite. That's going to be 11 slashing damage, and then 9 radiant damage on the first attack.
Okay.
So a total of 20. And the second attack
Ouch.
is just going to be a regular attack, which is going to be for 11 damage as well.
Whew, 31, baby. Okay. Okay.
As just these, the darkness of the night is just temporarily illuminated with this blast of radiant energy as his sword just collides with this creature of darkness.
Yeah, and the shadow kind of, as each hit kind of blows away chunks of shadow off of this thing. And it kind of, this deep rumbling growl kind of escapes its lips. And then it kind of changes from bestial to a voice. It's Yasni's voice. When he fell in, he said, "Help me, guys, help me." And it copies this voice perfectly. Katara, your turn.
All right, so Katari is going to run up and attempt to throw these javelins into it, I guess. So
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to throw the first one. Crit.
Okay.
Oh, God. Do I get to know what happens with the first throw?
Go ahead, give me that crit damage.
This is terrible. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. 8 damage. Oh, wait, no, that was right. 16 plus 19 damage.
Okay. And you're doing crits the way I do them, right? You roll damage, add modifier, and double.
Oh, no, I rolled twice. So it's 5, 10, 13.
Okay, cool. So that's doubled to 26 then?
Sorry, my bad. So it's the dice and modifier, and then you double? That's it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, so it's 16. My bad. 16
Okay.
total.
Okay, cool.
Did it, but it hit it because I'm going to try and stunning strike it. So it makes a con save.
It hits.
So yeah, DC 14 con save.
And it wrecks that con save. It kind of just looks up to you. You stab it as you hit it. And it just again in Yosni's voice, help, help. He goes,
All right.
wow. He goes, wow.
Wow.
Wow, this is really great. Wow, guys.
All right. So I throw the second javelin, and it's a 23. The damage on that's 5.
Okay, and on this one, as it hits, or would have hit, the body disappears in a puff of mist.
Oh, so it's just straight up gone. I spend a key point to sharpen my focus and take the dodge action.
Okay, what does that do? That gives you, does it give a disadvantage on attacking you? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. As this thing's turned, you hear whispered behind you, help me, guys, help me. As it attacks you from behind with advantage, negating your disadvantage. And I'm guessing a 17 hits.
No, I'm at 18 right now.
You're at 18? Okay. So his first attack misses. And the second attack definitely hits. And it is all, I'm going to need you to make a strength save because it's pouncing on you.
Gotcha. 9.
You are knocked prone, and it does 14 points of damage to you.
Perfect.
As its teeth rend the back of your shoulder and ripping gouges of flesh out of your body. And as you scream in pain, it repeats your scream back to you. You hear yourself in its own mouth and its own sounds.
Ah!
And then you hear back, ah!
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay, Monty, go ahead.
I'm just gonna wipe my brow. Whew. And then so guys, I deserve every bit of hate that I'm going to get from this. I just remembered that I take 2 attacks with my turn. So I deserve every bit of hate I get from that. So I'm actually going to knock 2 like an arrow into my bow. And I'm actually going to attack twice with my bow. Ooh, double 17. So both attacks are 25.
Those will both hit then.
Okay, sweet. So first one is a 10. Second one is a 5, so 15 damage.
Okay. And this thing, as you hit it with this arrow, it looks up at you and gives that Qatari scream at you. And we will go on to Yasni.
Does it look to Yasni like this creature's actually being damaged at all?
Yeah, like it looks like bits and pieces of it are kind of disappearing now that it's taking considerable chunks of damage.
Okay. Then Yasni would probably taunt it and say something in Gnomish to see if it would repeat it. He's gonna play with this thing at the same time he's throwing another stone at it. Oh, nice. 21.
What do you say to it in Gnomish?
I would say copy me. in Gnomish. So it'd just be like, "Dastada," or something to that effect. And that literally means copy me. See if it's going to copy me back.
Oh, it copies you back.
Nice. And that is a total of 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay.
Oh, sorry, 8. Sorry.
Oh, 8 damage. Okay. Yeah, the stone cracks against it, bouncing off of its smoky side. And he goes, that's not a bar.
And I would just look at everybody at the same time and just kind of smile. Like, even though we're in the middle of combat.
Aaron, your turn.
And every jovial expression from Yasni is matched with an equally grim one from Aaron. As he brings up his sword again for another attack, just speaking out again to this creature. As Tyr's judge, I sentence you no mercy for the wicked. As he speaks out part of his oath, another flash of light streaming up across his blade as I crit. So that is going to be, counting everything doubled, 8 slashing and 20 radiant damage.
Yeah, that would insta-kill it, and you're very lucky that you did this turn, because not only can it mimic voices, it can mimic spells as well, and it was going to divine smite you on its next turn. So, how do you kill this thing?
Yeah, as he speaks out these words of his oath, his sworn duty to justice and vengeance against evil, his sword kind of streaming with this radiant energy, he just thrusts the sword just right into the heart of this shadowy form, just passing through as if not even touching matter, but the radiant energy follows inside this creature. And as he pulls his sword out, there's kind of this center mass of radiant energy left behind from the stab wound inside the shadowy form. And it begins almost like an eruption. Just these tendrils begin to go out light into the shadow, kind of weaving in between the wisps of shade. Where eventually it's just like an explosion, almost like a silent firework going off as radiant energy just begins piercing through the holes of its body before the whole form is just consumed in a flash of light.
And as it disappears, exploding into bits and pieces of shadow, you hear some of your last words echoed back to you. I sentence you. As it disappears and fades away.
He has to be like, that is cool, guy. Did you see that? It mimicked everything we did. Oh, that is so cool. Can we find another one?
Shut up, gnome. The night is watching us. Keep quiet, or else more of these things will come.
On that note, can Monty recover any of his arrows?
Yeah, they would kind of just clatter to the ground as this thing disappeared.
Sweet.
In the distance, you can see rising out of the jungle a large mountain. So you know what landmark you're heading towards now. You don't need to roll any survival checks. You don't need to roll any insight or anything or perception. As you guys press onwards, eventually you arrive at like a slotted canyon of sorts that leads up towards this mountain. It's the only plausible path you could take to reach the top.
Did we just leave the remains of Matal back there?
Is that what you guys did? If you want to, you can. Or I guess you could lug them with you if you wanted to.
Like, Monty isn't a sentimental type, but like all the talk about people returning as Bloodless has kind of gotten his hackles raised. So he's like, we can at least give him a proper burial, can't we?
We don't bury our dead. We leave them on the stone.
If the chieftain's words are any counsel, perhaps we should burn him.
Wouldn't that catch the jungle on fire?
You can throw the pieces in the quicksand. That won't catch.
That will work.
I'm fine with this. Douse body in oil, in quicksand, set on fire.
Okay, you guys deal with the immensely desecrated corpse of Matal, sinking him into the quicksand after burning his individual pieces, hoping that he doesn't come back to haunt you. And now you're at the Slotted Canyon. You can see very clearly engraved all over these walls are very intricate eyes.
Oh, well, we're here. Is there any other writing or anything else, or do the eyes resemble some kind of glyphs or anything?
No, all you know is what the chieftain told you, and be wary, it'll try to take your minds away.
So Yasni would be fascinated with it as well, but just kind of like I would first kind of admire like the stone that everything's carved on, and just trying to find out like anything about it as best I could.
Do you approach one of the eyes and look at it?
Yeah, probably. I have to get up close in order to see it, and it's dark, so we would need somebody with torchlight to get, within a couple feet of distance in order to see it.
Groovy. Make me a wisdom save.
Sweet. Is it magic? I have advantage on that.
Uh-huh.
Sweet. Uh, 17.
You succeed. Nothing seems to happen to you.
Okay. Then I'm just going to take a look at it just to find out, like, anything I can about, was it carved? Is it, magically inscribed? How long has it been here? Stuff like that.
Yeah, as you kind of like look at it, you see that the carving is very immaculate. It's very well done, very beautiful engravings. But at the very center of the eye is what it looks like a black bead.
Can I take a look at that? The black bead itself?
Roll me a nature check.
19 total.
This eye, or this item in the center of this eye, is not a piece of earth, is not a gem, it's not anything artificial. It is an actual eye. It is the eye of an Umber Hulk.
I would probably turn to the group once finding that out and be like, that's a little creepy. They put Umber Hulk eyes in the eyes. Ugh. And then I'd probably just go on inspecting the others, just assuming they're the same.
And Aaron would begin whispering a quick, short prayer to Tyr, to watch over his companions, provide them with justice, guide us through this canyon. As he does so, a faint light glows and passes to his party members, and I'm going to cast Bless on everybody.
Okay.
So we'll get a D4 to add to saving throws.
All right.
Is there any way I could pry the eye out of the wall?
The Umber Hulk eye?
Yeah.
You can try. You don't know what the effects might be in doing so.
So Strongarm asks you to tell him, what exactly does an Umber Hulk eye do? Like, what makes it special?
Would I know that, since it's a burrowing creature?
With your super high nature check, yeah. The eye of an Umber Hulk, what it does is it paralyzes all the senses of the body and carries you away to your darkest nightmare. It basically traps you in your worst nightmare until you're able to overcome your own fears.
And that would probably be the reason that Yasni saved on that, is because he's really not afraid of anything. Things creep him out, but he's not afraid of anything. He probably had no nightmare to
Your
send
nightmare
him
would
to.
probably be a small coffin filled with spiders now.
He's just creeped out, but yeah.
But no, he faced that already. That'd be cheating.
So I just let him know that it's said to trap you in your own worst nightmare, and it's kind of like a self-challenge. You kind of have to beat yourself. Trying to put like a happy spin on the.
If you don't overcome your own nightmare, though, it's like your body can't do anything, so it literally emaciates without you even knowing.
Oh my
Are there?
God.
As we look around, are there like skeletons and other stuff around there to prove that? Okay.
Yeah.
I close my eyes and ask if that'll help protect me from the eyes.
No, because it has to gaze upon you.
Oh, I see.
So all right. So what Yasni would do, actually, is he would rifle through his pack and he'd pull out his steel mirror and attach it right in front of the eye, so it's like looking at itself and seeing if maybe that would help.
I mean, it stops the one eye, but there are literally eyes everywhere carved on either side of this canyon wall.
Do they all have Umberhawk eyes in it?
Yes, they all do.
Now, would we have to? Would this be like multiple saving throws going through here?
It's like the effects. So you'd have to save for each round you were in the canyon.
Okay.
So the canyon's not like super long, but so you'd have to save you'd have to make 2 saving throws to pass all the way through.
So would you consider this a saving throw against the trap?
Do you know what? I will say so. Yeah.
Okay. As a dungeon delver, I gain advantage against saving throws against traps. So I will. I'm going to tap dance through that canyon with my with my mule behind me.
Give me your 2 checks.
Is this a wisdom?
Wisdom save, yeah.
Okay.
Good question.
It's a 19.
19? Okay, first save, you're good.
Sweet.
Okay, maybe one more save. You have one more.
Oh, right. That is a 17.
Cool, you make it all the way through, and when you look back, you see that your mule stopped in the very first part. And it's just standing there now.
Well, shit.
How long is this canyon? Like, did we just watch him walk this way for like 15 minutes?
Yeah, you watched him walk for maybe like 10 minutes, just like all the way to the other end. And the mule literally stopped like the first step it took.
I'm going to yell down the canyon. Hey, Kutari, can you pick up my mule on your way through?
Just like snap to like the mule's mind as it like sees a carrot like just in front of it. And it's
always out of reach.
Just out of reach. It's just out of reach.
It's just chasing it for the rest of its life.
You can lick it. That's about it.
Oh man. Okay, who's going next?
Oh my god.
Could I spend however long it takes to do this if the group would want to ruin the wall with stone shape? I could basically tear apart stone.
Do you want to stay in the jungle overnight longer than you need to?
Well, that's just, I don't know how long it is. I can do a 5-foot cube every second.
Okay,
that was Tyler telling us that if we do that, we're gonna have to fight like 5 of those shadow cats minimum. Like just shadow cats until we give up and go.
I know that's his way of saying no, but I figured it doesn't hurt to ask to be like, yeah, I could spend a half hour doing this, or somebody could get trapped in their own mind and be there for 2 hours. I don't know.
See, in theory, you could, but like it would take a long time to cover this entire corridor.
And you got to remember, we're still in the center of like a deep, dark jungle in the middle of the night.
Well, but Yasni doesn't care about that, so I'm asking person to person.
From what Yasni knows, can I put my sack like over my body and just walk through, and technically it won't be looking at me?
No, that doesn't make it so it can't see you. It still sees you.
I just know I'm gonna mess this up. I know it.
You got a blast, dude. Just go for it.
Yeah, but I also have disadvantage on ability checks.
Just solid.
No, that's not the same.
This is a saving throw, not a ability.
Okay. So that's still, I just know. If I use a key to dash, can I only make 1 instead of 2?
Sure, I'd let you use a key to dash and make 1 instead of 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up the mule also.
Dude, you're gonna carry a mule on your back?
With all the mule shit.
Yeah, I'm a Goliath. I could do that. How much does it weigh?
Dude, it's a full-grown mule.
They're like
my carrying capacity is
450 pounds.
like 1,000-something pounds.
Okay, sure.
Wow.
Make me an athletics check as you run past. It's gonna slow you down. Make 2 checks.
Yeah, no. As a Goliath, he has that thing where he can carry something
double
as if
his
he was
weight,
a size
can't he?
log.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, fine. Okay, sure. Make me an athletics check though to pick up the mule. As you dash past, not to drop it on his face.
If anybody's an artist, can somebody draw this scene for me?
Dude, I want to see this scene.
My
Draw it
athletics
again.
is 18.
Okay, now give me that wisdom save.
And as I run through the canyon at blinding speeds, $17.
The save, I kid you not, was 16. You make it.
Yeah.
The mule's like dumb look, just like as it like comes out of its like stupor, being stared at by the Umbrel guys.
Kicks at me as I set it down. A little flex, feel accomplished.
It loses it as it like comes out of the stupor. It's like it just like starts like swinging its hooves around, trying to get off your shoulder.
Better catch that thing before it bolts.
Yeah, it bolts immediately. So you'd have to grab it like.
Yeah. I grab onto its like its harness as it's trying to run off.
Okay, roll me animal handling. Okay, back to you two. The other two of you just go through.
Aaron, seeing Katari having gone through and made it, is just going to focus on himself at this point and start making his way through as best as he can. That is 19 on the die plus 3 from Bless, so that's 25.
Okay, first check, you're good. Make 1 more.
Oh man, killing it. 22.
Okay, you're good. You just walk calmly all the way through, leaving Yasni.
Yeah, I guess now that I've seen everybody, I would probably just be like, oh, and take my mirror down from the one eye that I thought I had a great idea for, and then realize there's thousands of them, and just walk along. 21.
So good on the first check. 1 more.
That's off the table. 21 again.
Okay. Yeah, you guys all make it through just fine. The mule bolts. It's just like, it just takes off. You hear as it just like sprints off through the forest.
That was everything except for what I have on me.
Well, I tried. Unfortunately, we're going that way, so I point in the opposite direction.
Okay. You guys, I guess you go on.
I want to roll a luck die.
I will allow you to roll a luck die. Go ahead.
I want the mule to show up in my greatest hour of need.
Okay, roll me a luck die.
2.
You can use inspiration to reroll luck.
Unfortunately, I used my inspiration on the animal handling roll, so I have no more inspiration.
All right. Who knows what'll happen to the mule? You just hear you just hear baying in the distance as this thing is like losing it in the jungle.
Well, I was gonna say if I would peek up and be like, well, I can find it in the jungle if you want, if we want to go after it.
What do the rest of you think?
Chasing after a creature making that much noise in a jungle at night isn't high on my priority list.
Absolutely not.
You're right.
You can meet us at the temple if you like.
No, I'm still of the opinion that I'm not going to make it alone. So, yeah, forget me.
I would probably like pat him on like the lower back as high as I can reach, and just be like, "Well, the good news is all the Panthers will go after the mule and not us."
That's true. God, we lost the grappling hook. The grappling hook was the coolest thing.
I reach into my pouch and you see a grappling hook there too.
Okay, all right. I'm assuming you guys move on at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. As you pass along the top of this fist mountain, you go up and down over ridges, forming the fingers, until eventually you arrive at where the knuckle would probably be on this fist. Out of the jungle, out of this overgrown shrubs and undergrowth, shadows start to appear, massive shadows. You see a toppled city, almost completely overgrown. The ruins, well, where the streets would have been, these ancient streets, it's now almost like an overgrown valley of sorts. Vines hanging over the edge of stone buildings down into the streets. Trees sprouting up in the middle of alleyways. The largest of these valleys, the main street that you find, leads towards the central clearing where a massive ziggurat stands over the rest of the city. As you approach, you see aligning the streets are stone statues with varying heads. One has the head of a hawk, the other the head of an ocelotl, of a jaguar. One just a normal human. But they line the streets leading towards the central pyramid, towards your goal. And you can see it there, the steps leading up to the top, as you stand in the center of the city.
I'm sure somebody, Aaron maybe even, probably has a hold on Yasni as we are walking through the city, because he's just looking at everything. Like this is what he lives for. He's seen many ruins, and this is another one that is on his bucket list. He wants to explore every inch of it.
Onto the back of Yasni's collar, like almost like a dog on a leash. Just like making sure that he can talk, but he's not going to run the ruins without us going with him.
Oh, but you see but that statue, like right. Oh man, makes a mental note to himself to come back and take a look at it. Would he be able to figure out how old this place is, or how long ago this place was actually alive and thriving?
Yeah, make me a stone masonry check.
11?
11. I mean, you can make a general guess that this place is older, much older than Castle Greyhawk, much older than the modern buildings that you know. This place is at least a couple thousand years old.
Nice. And he would just be looking for anything that sticks out to him. You know, I know everything to him sticks out, but just anything that would have held relics or anything that would hold some type of history as well with this place. You know, a library, or maybe even some a long like written I don't know, like a board of something that would just have a whole bunch of text on it, anything like that.
Yeah, as you kind of like start brushing away this overgrowth, you would find murals hidden underneath the leaves and the dirt and the vines, murals of the city. You see children walking the streets, and in the distance beyond the city, a forest. Jaguar-headed men and hawk-headed men fight back what appear to be black cats and other terrifying creatures. The growth has covered everything like a blanket, though. It's almost as if the city doesn't even look like a city. It wouldn't look like a city if you were looking at it from a distance. It's only noticeable once you actually step into the city that this was once the capital of a great nation, of a great empire. And as you move through the city, making your way slowly towards the ziggurat, checking out occasional buildings, each just as dusty and mildewy and overgrown as the last. I mean, you find an occasional item of interest, a stone plate with strange inscriptions written on it. A small wooden doll is what it looks like, preserved in some sort of an enamel of sorts. You find a very rusted spear. It looks like they knew how to shape metal at least a little bit. You find a figure carved out of stone, maybe a soldier to some sort of a game, like almost like chess of some sorts. And just these little items start to accumulate as you kind of gather them and look at them and study them. And as you continue onward, you hear crashing behind you. And running towards you through the undergrowth, you see figures leaping over the pillars that you've already stepped over, running across the cracked and overgrown flagstones which your feet have trod upon, pushing aside vines and briars that block the way. These people wear paint, but at the same time, their skin is ashen, and their eyes are a deep red. You know immediately that these are people afflicted with the Bloodless curse. And as you stare at them, perhaps preparing yourselves to fight, you feel the ground shudder beneath you and cave way. You fall into darkness. The light of the moon illuminating where you'd once stood. Bits and pieces of rubble and flagstone fall with you into the darkness below, into the shrouded evil that lay below in the hidden Shrine of Tamoachan. And you fall and fall. And that is where we'll end the session.
Nice. Gasny screams, "I didn't do it."
All right, everybody. That was session 1 of the Hidden Shrine of Tamoachan. They are now in the dungeon itself. So we will see how they fare against the plethora of traps and monsters that await them. We'll do quick outros, starting with Corey, and making our way over to Jonathan.
Again, yeah, my name's Corey, just a player in the AdTab group. That was a great session. Just get wrecked the whole time. This just nonstop what happened to me, but I've come to expect it, so it's all right. And that's really all I got to say.
All right, awesome. Going on to Jeff.
Yep, I'm Jeff. Check out my YouTube and Facebook and Counterbalance. But yeah, to echo Corey's sentiment, it was a lot of fun. Just complete ass kicking the whole time. Less me, more so some of the other party members had way worse beats than me, so I'm not going to complain. But I'm really excited with this group. It's a lot of fun. I always want to play under you, and we have a great group of players here, so can't wait for the next sessions when we will surely meet our terrible demise.
Awesome, thanks. Going on to Sean.
Thanks. Nothing really to plug here. Sean, still love playing everything so far. God, this is fun. Haven't played with you yet, and so far I'm having a blast. Glad I finally worked out, because I know our times are a little different. But looking forward to dying. This will be fun.
Awesome. Thanks for playing, man. Yeah, I've never played with Sean yet, so this is my first time having him in my games. I'm very pleased. I love this group. Going on to Jonathan.
Hey, again, yeah, same here. Nothing to plug. Just enjoying the game. It's finally nice to see someone actually like running 5th edition instead of running a game where they hold your hand the entire time, like you'll usually see in 5th edition games. I love finally getting my ass kicked in this edition. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the dungeon.
Awesome. Again, thanks everybody for playing. I'm super excited to do the next session. I don't usually run dungeon delves, so this is definitely a new thing for me. So I mean, I'm very excited to see how this goes. Again, everybody, thank you for playing. We'll figure out when the next session will be. Thanks everybody who tuned in and watched with us. I appreciate all of you. Again, if you like the video, feel free to like and subscribe. And as always, I hope you find yourselves in your games on a roll.